This video covers the unsettling disappearance of a pregnant woman named Shannon Watts. The footage you're about to see was the last known video of her before she vanished. It all began shortly after she returned from a business trip. Early that morning, Shannon's friend and co-worker dropped her off at home. But not long after, both Shannon and her two young daughters were reported missing. Concern grew quickly when Shannon missed a scheduled OBGYN appointment and stopped responding to texts. She also failed to attend a business meeting, which prompted her friend Nicole Atkinson to visit the Watts home. When no one answered the door or the doorbell, Nicole contacted Shannon's husband, Chris, who said he was at work. She then called the Frederick Police Department for a welfare check. When an officer arrived, there was no sign of Shannon or the girls. Her purse, keys, and medication were still inside the house. Her phone was later found tucked between the couch cushions. Even more alarming, her car was still in the garage, with the children's car seats inside, and her wedding ring was discovered on the bedside table. By the next day, the FBI and Colorado Bureau of Investigation joined the search. Chris claimed he had no idea where his family had gone and told authorities the last time he saw Shannon was when he left for work previous morning.
Wow. What's going on right now around your house?
Right now you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out like if they can get a scent, see where they went. If they went on foot, they went in a car, or they went somewhere. And right now it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
He begged his wife and daughters to return home in tearful interviews with local news stations, KMGH-TV and KUSA-TV outside the house. Behind him, search dogs were already being used by detectives to comb the site.
And so, how many times did you try calling her?
I called her 3 times, texted her about 3 times just to say, maybe she was just busy, like she'd just gotten back, like everybody's probably calling her from her trip. She just got back from Arizona, and I figured she was just busy. But when her friend showed up, that's what it was like, it registered like, all right, this isn't right. I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know, but if somebody has her and they're not safe, like I want them back now.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions about your relationship with your kids.
My kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. I just want them back. I just want them to come back.
Following that, Chris Watts took and failed the polygraph exam. He then cracked and admitted to unaliving Shannon to his dad, Ronnie, and later to detectives.
Wife and kids were reported missing. Police searched his house, including the bedroom where he murdered little Bella. He pretends to be distraught over the disappearance of his family.
I can't imagine what you're going through right now.
The house, I couldn't sleep at all last night. I missed them throwing chicken nuggets at me, honestly, last night.
Police were suspicious. At headquarters, he was given a lie detector test, which he failed.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
When confronted with inconsistencies in his story, Watts asked to speak to his father and whispered his confession as police watched from another room.
Chris initially claimed he unalived Shannon in a fit of rage after allegedly witnessing her smother their daughters. However, as the investigation unfolded, that story quickly fell apart. Authorities later discovered Shannon's body buried in a shallow grave on the property of Anadarko Petroleum Corporation, the oil and gas company where Chris was employed. That same day, the remains of the couple's 2 daughters, Bella and Celeste, were found inside nearby oil tanks just a short distance from Shannon's burial site. The gruesome discovery left investigators and the public horrified, revealing the heartbreaking truth behind the family's tragic disappearance.
Did you have to push or anything, or?
Not really.
There's no chance that you put them in there when they're still alive, is there?
No, God, no.
An autopsy later confirmed that Shannon had been strangled, while Bella and Celeste had been smothered, both with Chris's own hands. He was arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased body. During questioning, Chris told investigators he had asked Shannon for a separation and claimed that afterward he saw her allegedly attacking one of their daughters, prompting him to retaliate. But the evidence didn't support this story. Authorities found inconsistencies throughout his account, and the truth eventually emerged.
The dramatic moment cops confront Chris Watts' mistress after he murdered his pregnant wife and 2 daughters to start a new life with her.
Why would you wipe out your family to be with me?
The just-released video shows 30-year-old Nicole Kessinger being interrogated.
Did you ever say anything to him about,
Never.
anything about his kids being a problem? Anything about his wife being a problem?
Never.
You mentioned Bella was first. Cece was first, okay. Where exactly was she when it happened?
In the back seat.
Okay, was she just right next to Bella?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so once again, was it a hand over her face? Was it?
There was a blanket over and my hand.
And then your hand, okay. And then so that just stopped her from breathing type thing?
She said, "No, Daddy." And that's the last thing she said.
Chris's motive, though horrifyingly simple, was chilling. Chris was actually having an affair with a coworker. However, could adultery ever excuse killing your own household? No one can ever really comprehend the agony of it. On a cold afternoon in November 2014, 12-year-old Tamir Rice was playing alone outside the Cuddle Recreation Center in Cleveland, Ohio, holding an airsoft gun that lacked the required orange tip. From a distance, it looked real. A 911 caller reported a man with a pistol, but made it clear twice that the gun was probably fake and the person was likely a juvenile. That crucial detail never reached the officers dispatched to the scene.
Probably a juvenile, you know? And he keeps pulling it out of his pants. I don't know if it's real or not. Okay, we're gonna count it.
Within seconds of arriving, Officer Lohman opened fire, striking 12-year-old Tamir Rice in the abdomen. The shot caused devastating internal injuries, tearing through vital organs, blood vessels, and bone. He was rushed to Metro Health Medical Center, but despite every effort, Tamir died the following day. What made the tragedy even worse was what happened after the gunfire. Neither officer checked Tamir's vital signs nor attempted to render aid. For nearly 4 minutes, the child lay on the ground alone, bleeding. It wasn't until an FBI agent arrived that anyone tended to him. Emergency medical services didn't reach the scene until 8 minutes after the shooting, even though Officer Garnback had called for help repeatedly. As if that weren't enough, Tamir's 14-year-old sister, who had come running in panic, was tackled, handcuffed, and detained. Their mother, Samaria Rice, was threatened with arrest if she didn't calm down. In every way, the handling of the aftermath only deepened the wound, compounding the trauma for a family that had just lost their young one.
A lot to deal with, America has taken away from me of what my son would look like as a teenager and a young man and even an old man. I don't know what my son gonna never look like. I only got the vision of him being 12. So that's a lot of pain that I deal with on a daily basis as I see other children growing, other little boys playing and kids playing. It's hard sometimes. It's very hard.
The case eventually went before a grand jury, but in a deeply controversial decision, the jury declined to indict either of the officers involved. This ruling sparked nationwide outrage and reignited debates over policing, race, and accountability. The Department of Justice opened its own investigation, and after a 5-year review, announced on December 29, 2020 that it would not pursue federal charges. Prosecutors cited a lack of sufficient evidence, pointing to the grainy, non-continuous security footage and conflicting interpretations of Tamir's movements. Though all agreed his hands were near his waist, still, what made the outcome even harder to accept for many was the officer's troubling histories.
As I'm driving through there, following, I keep telling my rookie, I go, he's gotta run. be prepared, he's gonna run. As I get closer and closer, the kid stops and turns and faces us. At this time, I can hear patrolman yelling, "Show me your hands, show me your hands, show me your hands." I can see through here the kid reaching, pulling.
Here, make the short. Yeah, take time.
I didn't know it was a kid. I could see him pulling the gun out of his waistband. I don't know if I was in the car or out of the car. I can still see him through the window. I heard 2 shots. How many shots?
Officer Lohman in particular had been previously deemed unfit for duty at another police department due to emotional instability and poor judgment, issues that were well documented before he was hired in Cleveland. For Tamir's family and countless others, the decision felt like yet another painful failure of the system, one that left a youngster perished and no one held accountable. Officer Garmick faced administrative charges for failing to use appropriate tactics such as driving over the curb and within feet of Tamir and failing to notify dispatchers upon arrival. Officer Lohman was fired for hiding details on his application, especially leaving out a prior resignation from the Independence Law Enforcement Agency following a dangerous meltdown during firearms training due to psychological trauma.
First you see him, the male matching description, but then you see the gun, and then now he's, walking away, and now, he's presenting the gun, he's pulling out his waistband, so your levels were getting higher and higher and higher, and the threat just became incredible, where, I had to, make the decision fast because Frank and I were in immediate danger. If the subject did pull out the gun and present it and point it towards us, I would have been shot, and possibly my friend, my partner would have been shot, especially due to the close proximity that we were at. We were easy targets, and plus I was stuck in the doorway and my partner was still seated in the driver's seat.
In 2016, the city of Cleveland agreed to a $6 million settlement with the Rice family, paid in 2 installments of $3 million. Of that, $5.5 million went to Tamir's estate, while his mother and sister received $250,000 each. The settlement included no admission of wrongdoing, but marked the largest payout in the city's history at the time. Amid intense legal and public pressure, the case had exposed a cascade of systemic failures, from the 911 dispatcher's omission of key details like Tamir being a child and the gun likely being fake, to the tactical decision by officers to pull up right next to him, giving themselves no time or space to assess the situation. The dispatcher was later suspended for a role in the miscommunication. Body cam and surveillance footage showed the shooting happened within 2 seconds of the officers exiting their vehicle, leaving no room for de-escalation. Worse still, neither officer attempted to render aid after Tamir was shot. An FBI agent who arrived 4 minutes later was the first to check his vitals. The fallout prompted the Cleveland Police Department to begin reform efforts, which included hiring 250 new officers, bringing on external consultants, and forming a monitoring team to oversee changes in policy, training, and use of force procedures. Tamir's death became a rallying cry for police accountability, juvenile justice, reform, and a painful reminder how split-second decisions can have irreversible consequences. Ivan Lester McGuire was a 35-year-old skydiving cameraman from Franklin, North Carolina. He worked at the Franklin County Sports Parachute Center, where he filmed clients as they jumped out of planes. On April 2, 1988, what started as just another workday turned into a fatal accident. He'd already done 2 jumps that day and was called for a third. Tired but committed, he agreed. The plane climbed to 10,500 feet. Ivan jumped first, filming the client and instructor like always. Everything looked routine until it was time to open his parachute. He reached back, nothing. He searched again, frantically, still nothing. That's when he realized the unthinkable. He wasn't wearing a parachute, just a camera rig strapped to his back. He managed to say, "Oh my God, no," before falling at over 150 miles per hour into a wooded area near the drop zone. He died instantly. Investigators later reviewed the broken footage from his helmet camera. It ruled out foul play or suicide. So how could a pro with over 800 jumps forget his parachute? One theory is simple exhaustion. He may have thought he was fully geared up. Another more likely reason is that his heavy camera equipment, big in backpack sized in the 80s, was mistaken for a parachute by him and others. His death was a tragedy, but the footage left behind has served as a powerful warning. Never skip the gear check. Even experts can make fatal mistakes. On April 7, 2025, in Belo Horizonte, Brazil, a quiet afternoon took a devastating turn when a concrete awning suddenly gave way and crashed down on a woman sitting just outside her home. The 32-year-old suffered severe injuries and was rushed to a nearby hospital, but despite efforts to save her, she later passed away. Emergency crews arrived quickly, sealing off the area to prevent further accidents, while engineers were brought in to assess the structural damage. Authorities opened an investigation into the collapse, but as of now, no new information has been released. It's a tragic example of how danger can strike without warning. Sometimes all it takes is being in the wrong place at the wrong moment. This story is as heartbreaking as it is disturbing.
Sheriff's emergency.
Most recently, the deputy talked to my wife into letting me in the house, and then she locked me in the garage. And when I said,
What was that?
"You just stopped me,"
Oh, driving. She just shot him.
Colin Turner, a 38-year-old former U.S. Marine, was shot and killed by his wife, Bree Turner, who was still actively serving as a Navy Chief Petty Officer at the time. The couple had been together for 7 years. They shared 2 young kids and were raising Bree's 12-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. To outsiders, they might have looked like a military power couple with a stable family life, but behind closed doors, things had been unraveling for a while. On the day everything came to a head, police were called to their Virginia home twice for domestic issues. The first time, Bree told officers that Colin had been physically abusive and claimed that he raped her just a few days before.
Police officer, my husband pushed me up against the wall, threw me on the floor, and he started.
Your husband still there?
Yes.
Are you able to stay in that room until the deputies get there?
Yes, but I don't want him to take my daughter. If he's going to throw me
by
around,
yourself in the room? You're with your son and he's with your daughter. What's your husband's name?
Colin.
Talk to one down here, then I'm assuming that's your wife or the other half. You want to say what they call this?
Wife, yeah.
We talk to you guys separate.
She's got a shotgun and her pistol in the bedroom with her.
Okay.
And my pistol is on the dashboard of my truck. I'll put it there all pretty for you.
Okay, you stay out here, man.
I'm still in. There's a little dog running around. She won't get.
Her name's Bree?
Her name's Bree. She's got both the kids in there with her.
Okay. Did you call us?
Yes.
What's going on today, ma'am?
So my husband is trying to take the kids.
What's up, big guy?
He threw me on the floor and pushed me against the wall.
And this all happened today?
Yes, it happened. We've been having issues over since the weekend.
What are the issues about?
Just typical relationship stuff.
Are you guys married?
Yeah, we're married, but his go-to is to use the kids against me. So he's ready to take them to Georgia.
But when police talked to Colin, he painted a very different picture. He said Bree had been mentally unstable for a while, that she'd tried to take her own life not long ago, and had recently been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. He also told them she destroyed his $2,500 laptop, literally ran it through the dishwasher, and that she'd frozen him out financially by taking his wallet, ID, and access to money.
So won't you give me a rundown on what happened during your argument?
All right. So she called you right now because she figured out that I want to take my kids to my parents' house in Georgia. For me, I guess me to have a break from her. A little bit of backstory. In March, she tried to kill herself and did inpatient. After she was inpatient and then she was outpatient group for a while, she got kicked out of that group and then went back in, Baker acted a second time for suicidal ideations. And there she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I don't want him taking my kids. I have appointments with attorneys. I don't want him in the house. He raped me over the weekend. I just want
you got any marks anywhere? You mind if we look and check? I mean, because if you got any marks anywhere, I mean, you got any bruises or anything?
No, it was just today because he just pushed me up against this doorway and threw me down on the bathroom floor.
You don't have any redness anywhere? I'm gonna say, 'cause I need something. You know, because the problem is I got to be able to prove it. That's why I'm asking if you got marks or bruises or anything. Anyway, I need something else.
So next time I'll just make sure that he punches me in the face.
That's not what I'm saying at all. Did the kids witness any of it? No.
She had said, I'll show you Vindictive last night. I thought she meant she came in and put the music on. I found this morning my laptop was missing. So I'm looking all around the house for it, and finally, like, wait a minute, the dishwasher was running all night. Put my fucking MacBook in the dishwasher. It's a $2,500 computer. And then
it's unfortunate.
Cut me off from all the credit cards she has control over. She's the primary breadwinner in the family.
And is she was she allowed to go? Like, did you plan on her coming?
No, I didn't plan on her coming.
Okay, you're just gonna take a break?
Yeah.
And they're your kids, right?
They're my kids.
Okay, y'all are married, had kids.
Married.
They're your blood.
They're both of our kids, and then I have a stepdaughter who's probably gonna be here in about 45 minutes from school.
Okay.
And my stepdaughter is fully hers legally, and her dad lives in Alabama, but he doesn't have any legal control. I can't stop you from taking the little kids because they're yours, but if you take my 12-year-old, I will press charges on you. It's not healthy for the kids to be around it. She's made repeated comments to the kids, the 3 and 4-year-old, since, well, today.
Well,
so the police are coming to save us because Daddy hurt Mommy. First of all, I didn't. Second of all, you don't tell a child that.
Sure.
Was at any point in time did it get physical?
I told you I tried to grab my daughter last night, and she got physical and stopped me. So I backed off at that point because that kind of allegation is the last thing I need.
Despite everything, Colin was allowed back inside the house later that day. He went to the garage to try and fix the door, but while he was in there, Bree locked him in. That's when he called 911, clearly panicked and saying he couldn't get out. And then, while he was still on the phone, she shot him 4 times in the back. The entire thing was recorded on the call. His final words, his confusion, his pain, it was all captured.
Office emergency.
Hi, you guys have been out to my house twice today, and then most recently the deputy talked my wife into letting me in the house, and then she locked me in the garage and tried to break my arm when I was trying to get back inside. She's currently got me locked in the garage because earlier she broke both of the big doors, and then when I came out here to fix it after getting in the house earlier, she locked the door behind me, and then when I tried to...
What was that?
You just shot me!
Somebody, she's driving. She just shot him. I just heard 4 shots. Sir, are you there? Somebody there? He's not answering. Mr. Turner, I don't know if you can hear me, but I've got help on the way for you.
After the shooting, Bree calmly walked out of the house with the kids. She told the neighbors she had just shot her husband. Then she went back inside, hid the gun behind a toaster, and waited for police. When they arrived, she admitted she'd pulled the trigger. At first, she said it was self-defense, that she feared for her life, but the body cam footage and that chilling 911 call told a different story. Colin wasn't threatening her. He was trapped, trying to get help, and had no weapon.
Come here, partner.
He went in to check to see if he's okay.
Where, here? No, over here. Okay. All right.
And I didn't take a pulse to touch him, but...
Where is he?
He's right in the garage. Anybody else in there?
Can we open this?
217. Get EMS in here. 217 baggy signal 7.
Where are they saying who ran in the back?
Hold on. This is Deputy Lohoff. Come here, sweetheart. It's okay.
Hi, are you in shock right now?
Well, do me a favor. Can you,
Is he alive?
they're working on him right now.
Okay.
I need you to go with this deputy, have her see her car. She's going to hang out with you. I'll get EMS to come check her out. She's the shooter.
Okay.
Sweetheart, come on, let's go. Come over here. That way we'll get EMS to check you out, make sure you're okay, okay?
I'm a murderer.
Listen to me. You're not under arrest right now. You're being detained, okay? We'll investigate.
No, you should arrest me. I killed my husband. Hopefully I just shot him. Maybe he's not dead. He should not be dead.
All right, go ahead and have a seat in the car for me, okay? Listen to me. Ma'am, go ahead and have a seat in the car for me. It's easiest if you just sit your butt down first and you switch your feet inside, okay? Can you do that for me right now? I appreciate you. We'll get this figured out, okay? I'm going to let you know as soon as I know something, okay?
He's dead.
Listen to me. I'm going to let you know as soon as I know something, okay?
I think she's in shock.
All right.
Now.
Just twist around, feet inside there, okay?
The investigation that followed revealed even more. Police interviewed Bree's ex-boyfriend, her brother, and nearby neighbors. What came out painted a picture of long-standing conflict, mental health struggles, and escalating tension. In court, prosecutors argued that the killing was premeditated, and the jury agreed. Bree was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. She's since been discharged from the Navy and is now trying to appeal the conviction. The most tragic part, their kids are now left without either parent. Bree's oldest daughter has gone to live with her biological father, while Colin's parents have taken in the two younger children. One moment of violence shattered an entire family, and the scars it left behind will probably never fully heal. On January 15th, 2023, Yeti Airlines Flight 691 departed Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu around 10:30 a.m. It was a short domestic route, headed for Pokhara International Airport, roughly 124 miles or 200 kilometers to the west. Everything about the flight seemed normal. Takeoff was smooth, the plane climbed and cruised without any issues, and even the descent into Pokhara went according to plan. One of the passengers, 25-year-old Sonu Jaiswal, began live streaming from inside the cabin as the plane approached the runway. Sonu was an adventurous traveler from India, known among his friends for his love of new experiences. This time he had traveled to Nepal with 3 close companions to explore the country and try paragliding in Pokhara. The live stream was meant to capture one of those happy, carefree moments before their next adventure, but just over a minute into the video, everything changed. The camera started shaking, disorienting viewers. The sound of laughter suddenly gave way to screams. What followed next was a deafening explosion. Incredibly, Sonu's phone continued recording, still streaming live as the horrifying scene unfolded. Viewers could do nothing but watch it in shock as the screen filled with fire, the flames consuming everything in view. Then the screaming stopped. Just like that, silence. Something had gone terribly wrong. News soon broke. Flight 691 had crashed into a riverbank just a few hundred meters from the Pokhara airport. The impact alone had been devastating, but the remaining fuel ignited on contact, creating an inferno that left nothing behind. By the time first responders reached the site, it was already too late. All 72 people on board, 68 passengers and 4 crew members, had perished. Sonu was among them. In his final moments, he had unknowingly captured and broadcasted the very tragedy that would end his life. If there was any small mercy, it was that the aircraft narrowly missed the densely populated area adjacent to the river. Had it crashed just slightly off course, the death toll could have been far higher. As for what caused such a catastrophic failure during an otherwise routine flight, an extensive investigation pointed to human error. Originally, the plane was cleared to land on runway 30, but for reasons still unclear, the captain requested an alternate approach to runway 12. At the time, co-pilot Anju Kadewada, who was undergoing training, was at the controls. Investigators believe the captain may have chosen the more challenging route as a training opportunity. Tragically, during the final approach, Anju misunderstood an instruction and accidentally feathered both engine propellers, a maneuver typically used in emergencies to reduce drag. This caused both engines to stall mid-descent. With no thrust and low altitude left, the plane banked sharply and crashed. A single error, one wrong input at the worst possible moment, led to unimaginable loss, and for the families left behind, that moment continues to echo. On December 22, 2018, a beachside concert at Tanjung Lesung Resort in Banten Province, Indonesia, turned into a scene of horror. The band 17 was performing when a tsunami, triggered by an undersea landslide following the eruption of Anak Krakatoa, struck around 9:30 p.m. local time. The video shows a calm, seated crowd enjoying the show until everything changes in an instant. A massive wave crashes into the venue, sweeping away the stage, cutting the lights and sending screams through the darkness. The wave, roughly 5 meters, 16 feet tall, tore through the event space without warning. Several members of the band, along with crew and family, were killed. Only the lead singer, Horrifying Fajarsha, survived, later confirming the heartbreaking loss of his bandmates and wife. The tsunami devastated the surrounding coastline, destroying over 400 homes, wiping out hotels, and capsizing ships across the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra. On May 31, 2025, tragedy struck at an informal railway crossing in Samut Sakhon, Thailand. A pickup truck transporting workers tried to cross the tracks in an unmarked shortcut just as the train barreled toward them at full speed. Realizing the imminent danger, passengers began leaping from the vehicle in a panic. Tragically, one woman fell onto the tracks and was hit before she could escape. The railway line is notorious for these makeshift crossings, commonly used despite having no warning systems or barriers. Local officials acknowledged the safety issues and confirmed that plans to install protective infrastructure have been in the works, but have faced delays due to bureaucratic red tape.
He was 3 weeks away from turning 20. He had Tourette's syndrome and he was autistic. He was a huge, huge sports fanatic. Wrestling, especially wrestling.
Tremo had just begun living on his own for the first time at 19, proud to have his own place near his Walmart job in Lebanon. But one night, his excitement about a job interview the next day quickly turned into overwhelming anxiety. Alone in his apartment, Tremo, who is autistic, started to panic. He called his uncle, yelling and banging his head in distress, trying to cope the only way he knew how. In the past, similar meltdowns had resulted in brief hospital stays after his family reached out for help. But this time, it wasn't family who made the call. It was a neighbor. When Lebanon police arrived for a welfare check, they discovered an outstanding warrant neither Tremo nor his family even knew existed. It was a misdemeanor domestic violence charge from a previous mental health episode the year before. Tremo's mother, Abner, explained that the earlier incident had also involved a crisis. Her sister and brother-in-law had called the police expecting mental health support, not an arrest. At the time, it was treated as a medical emergency. This time, however, everything changed. Rather than taking Tremo to a hospital for care, officers transferred him to Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies who took him to jail instead. The jail environment quickly overwhelmed him, loud, unfamiliar, and completely unfit for someone in mental distress. A moment that called for compassion and clinical support turned into a devastating failure of the system.
You could see in his mugshot how distressed he was. I had nightmares for months. The fear in his eyes. I've never seen anyone so scared. They knew he was autistic. He was terrified. You could see it right then and there. If they had paid attention, they would have known something bad was about to happen and he needed medical help right then and there.
Tremo was booked into the jail around 1 a.m. During intake, he informed the medical staff that he had ADHD and autism, but what raised alarm was when he said he didn't want to live. That statement should have activated Ohio's full safety protocol for individuals at risk: a complete strip search, assignment of a suicide-resistant gown, a safety blanket and mattress, and placement in a protective isolation cell. Instead, Tremo was given only the gown. No mattress, no blanket. He was left in a cold, bare cell, exposed, overwhelmed, and terrified. Tremel hated feeling exposed and vulnerable. He pleaded with staff not to leave him like that. He also had a deep fear of tight spaces, and being confined only intensified his panic. Despite every visible sign that he was in distress, his needs were ignored. Every element of his environment was a trigger, yet no one took steps to ease his suffering.
You know, they stripped him naked, and he hated his body to be exposed, and he kept telling them that.
Before Tremel was even fully booked into jail, he began banging his head, a behavior often used by people with autism as a coping mechanism, much like rocking or hand flapping. But this time, it wasn't a way to self-soothe. It was a sign of deep distress. Alone and overwhelmed, his anxiety escalated, and the head banging became more violent. According to officers, he slammed his forehead so hard against the window of his cell door that visible swelling appeared. Instead of providing mental health support, jail staff responded by strapping him into a restraint chair. His chest, wrists, and ankles were bound, allegedly to prevent further self-harm. But for Tremel, it likely only deepened his fear and confusion.
He touched. He hated to be restrained. Even as a baby, the car seat alone. Oh, that was awful. So he was stemming in the videos, and he just kept hitting his head. Stemming, some people, it just helps them to calm down. It's not something they can control. Some people flap their arms, some people do hand. I mean, he did all of that too, but when he would get really upset, he would hit his head.
Tremel, like many individuals with autism, had a deep fear of being restrained. His mother later shared that even as a child, he couldn't tolerate being strapped into a car seat. The sensation of being confined was overwhelming and terrifying. Being tied down in a restraint chair was his worst nightmare come to life. After about an hour, Tremel began to calm down. He told the guard he no longer intended to harm himself, but instead of honoring that and releasing him, they left him strapped in for another full hour. Despite policies meant to prevent that kind of prolonged restraint, not long after, Tremel appeared in video court. It was there he found out he wouldn't be going home anytime soon. That news broke him. Surveillance footage captured the heartbreaking aftermath. He was seen pacing, rocking, kicking, and crying inside his holding cell, repeatedly begging to call his family, his voice filled with fear and desperation. Tremel slammed his head once more against the cell door before collapsing to the ground. As deputies began moving toward his cell, he suddenly hurled himself onto the concrete floor. Then without warning, he jumped up and struck the right side of his head against a cinder block wall 4 times in rapid succession. The impact was so severe that he briefly lost consciousness. Moments later, 5 officers stormed into the cell and pinned him face down on the floor.
He hated to be restrained. He hated people touching him. He wanted them, he kept asking them if they would just talk to him. Please just listen.
Can someone please listen to me?
Being confined. He hated to be confined. Absolutely, that would trigger him, and he would just panic.
Tremel, who had a deep aversion to being touched by strangers, was once again forced into the restraint chair. One officer pressed him down with a knee while others secured the straps tightly. According to Ohio jail policy, restraints are meant to be used only when absolutely necessary, not as punishment or for the convenience of staff. The rules also require officers to calmly explain the process to the individual. None of that happened. Instead, deputies issued repeated warnings threatening to use force if he didn't comply. Meanwhile, a large golf ball-sized lump had formed on Tremel's forehead.
Please, I want meds. Can I have meds? If I had medicine, stop, please. Please, the quickest we get me your meds, the earliest they might this guy stop.
His mother, Abner, said she had never seen fear in her son's eyes like that before. In the jail surveillance footage, Tremmel, still bound in the restraint chair, was wheeled into another cell. There, he resumed banging his head, this time against the backrest. His screams echoed off the walls. His body trembled and locked up. Even when he wasn't shouting, the sound of his labored, desperate breathing filled the room, clearly picked up by the surveillance mic. By the time deputies finally got him to a hospital, Tremmel was unresponsive. He passed away 3 days later.
His dad told me that Isaiah is at Miami Valley. He's on life support, and they're saying that there's nothing that they can do for him. There's too much brain injury. He was just a really, really kind-hearted boy. He really was. He wanted everything to be better. He wanted things to be better for people with disabilities. He wanted people to be more accepting. What would have been his 21st birthday is during the solar eclipse. And we're gonna take some of the dog's ashes and some of Isaiah's ashes, and we're gonna go spread them during the eclipse to celebrate his 21st birthday. The only thing I want is for nobody ever feel this again. Nobody should walk around feeling like this every single day.
This was a hard watch for me. He left behind his parents, 6 siblings, and his cherished dog, Bruce. His mother had no idea he was even in jail until the hospital called. Yet according to the county jail, staff claimed they followed proper procedures and provided adequate care. But looking at what happened, do you believe that? Let me know. Just after 3 a.m. on a silent stretch of road near John Wayne and Allura Parkways, the stillness was broken by the roar of a motorcycle engine growing louder. The center of it all was 29-year-old Dimitris Katis, tearing down the road at high speed. But this wasn't a typical case of a late-night joyride. Behind him, a police cruiser was in hot pursuit, lights flashing and sirens wailing, cutting through the quiet darkness.
Shut your bike off. Shut your bike off. And now he's fleeing southbound over the overpass. He's a real bad driver. 90 miles an hour. Ran a red light. Man, almost got hit. Shut your bike off. Shut your bike off.
Earlier, the officer had spotted Dimitri weaving through traffic, struggling to control the bike. It looked like he was either inexperienced or possibly under the influence. When the officer tried to pull him over, Dimitri initially stopped, but as soon as the officer stepped out of his car, Dimitri hit the throttle and took off. What started as a routine stop quickly escalated into dangerous and ultimately tragic pursuit.
Shut your bike off. He's fleeing southbound over the overpass. He's a real bad driver. 90 miles an hour, ran a red light, and almost got hit. Let Doc Chin know he's headed their way. And he's crashed. He crashed out at right before Hathaway, right before. Altera North. Call paramedics, he's down. Hey, can you, please stop there. I know he almost hit you.
Caddis pushed the throttle to nearly 90 miles per hour in a 35 zone. He tore through intersections, barely missing a pickup truck, but the road curved ahead and he didn't. He failed to make the turn, slamming into the curb. The bike exploded into pieces, debris scattering more than 100 feet from where his body finally stopped. Paramedics rushed to the scene, but it was too late. Dmitry Caddis had suffered a massive head injury, a broken neck, and multiple fractures. He perished instantly.
He's not responsive. No breathing, faint pulse, looks like a broken neck. He was driving horribly, even just to start.
He says it.
Yeah, he almost, when he ran the red light, this guy was pulling out, almost hit him. He's got no ID on him.
What?
He's got no ID on him. He was driving even before I tried to stop him, he was not being able to balance on his bike. Let me see if he's still got a faint pulse.
It's okay.
I think his neck is broken though. You heard what I said. I wouldn't even try to stop him I hadn't put him up until right at Honeycutt, and he pulled over, and then he drove forward and punched it over the overpass. I got down right before here, and he ran the red light. I backed off over there, and then I saw him wreck out.
The officer later said it looked like Dmitry was inexperienced, like he didn't really know how to ride the bike, but maybe that wasn't it. Maybe he was scared, maybe he didn't have a license, or maybe he just panicked. Whatever the reason, he made a choice and that choice cost him everything. Sometimes the crash isn't the story, it's what led to it. Fear, speed, and a split-second decision not to stop. That was all it took. At just 23 years old, Helen Wendy Nabuto had built a promising life for herself. Originally from Kenya, she had moved to Canada on a 10-year study visa at the age of 20. By 2022, she was nearing the completion of her studies and working both as a nurse and a personal support worker in the Toronto area. Everything seemed to be going in the right direction until a single tragic event abruptly cut her life short. Helen had recently accepted a position as a personal support worker in the quiet town of Chatsworth, Ontario, and to accommodate the job, she rented a room at the town's only motel. The accommodations were modest, but what drew her attention was the motel's outdoor swimming pool. On August 8th, she finally found time to unwind and decided to go for a swim while live streaming the experience on Facebook. The pool was empty, the atmosphere tranquil. Everything seemed perfect, but only about 10 minutes into the swim, Helen made her way toward the deep end and quickly found herself in distress. Unable to stay afloat, she began to struggle, calling out for help with what breath she had left. No one was around to hear her. For nearly a minute, she fought to keep herself above water, but ultimately succumbed, disappearing just outside the camera's view. The phone kept recording and broadcasting live to Facebook. Her final words, "Let me enjoy some water," took on a haunting tone as viewers continued watching, unaware of the full tragedy unfolding. It wasn't until nearly 3 hours later that two guests entered the pool area and made the devastating discovery, while the stream was still live. Initially, they couldn't even comprehend what they were witnessing. They eventually understood what had happened and quickly alerted the motel staff.
Why is there just a dead person in the line?
I know, that scared the when I got in. I think it's a poodle or something.
That looks so realistic.
I know. I got in and I was like, is it somebody? Walk over there. Just walk over there.
Like, what if it's actually somebody dead? Because I'm not even trolling, that looks way too real.
By the time help arrived, it was already too late. Helen had passed. The live stream served as crucial evidence, confirming that her death was a heartbreaking accident, though that offered little comfort to her grieving family. Her father, devastated, shared, "I watched the video. I cried. It's terrible." The loss was even more crushing because Helen had been the family's sole provider. With no financial means to repatriate her body to Kenya, her loved ones were left in despair. But as news of the tragedy spread, strangers across the internet rallied in support, raising over 66,000 Canadian dollars. The donations covered Helen's funeral costs and provided critical help to her family, offering a small glimmer of kindness in the midst of a deeply sorrowful loss. Armin Schmier, a 28-year-old Italian thrill seeker, had always been passionate about extreme sports. He began with skydiving and completed numerous jumps across Europe, but over time, skydiving no longer gave him the adrenaline rush he craved. In 2015, seeking a greater challenge, he transitioned to wingsuit base jumping, an even riskier sport that demands precision and nerves of steel. Despite the danger, Armin adapted quickly and became skilled within a year. However, he had no idea his daring pursuit was heading toward a tragic end. On August 26, 2016, Armin ascended Mount Congar in the Swiss Alps, planning to document his jump by live streaming it. Without a streaming-ready action cam or a reliable phone mount, he improvised. After gearing up, he turned to his viewers and said, "Today, you fly with me." Before placing his phone in his pocket, the screen went dark, aside from faint light filtering through the fabric, but the audio remained clear, capturing Armin's countdown and the moment he leapt into the air.
2, 1.
Initially, everything sounded routine, but around 20 seconds into the flight, the tone shifted drastically. Armin's phone recorded a sudden change, his voice erupting into panicked screams, followed by unmistakable noise of impact as he slammed into the mountainside. What came next was a harrowing sequence of sounds, his body crashing against rocks, scraping and tumbling violently down the steep slope. The fall came to a stop in the middle of a cow pasture, followed by complete silence. Armin's viewers, horrified by what they'd just heard, immediately alerted local authorities. A search operation began shortly after, but by the time rescuers reached him, Armin had already passed away from his injuries. The Swiss authorities never officially confirmed what led to the fatal crash, whether it was a malfunction with his gear or a mistaken flight. Regardless, Armin's final moments serve as a sobering reminder of the dangers tied to extreme sports. He died pursuing the thrill he loved most. On August 16, 2012, 21-year-old Lawrence Day Davis showed up for his very first day at work. He had just graduated from a federal job training program in Jacksonville, Florida, and landed a temp position through Remedy Intelligence Staffing at Bacardi's bottling plant. It was supposed to be the start of a new chapter, a chance to help his family build a future with his fiancée Alicia and make his mom and sister proud. But within just 19 minutes of clocking in, Day was dead. That day, he was assigned to warehouse number 7, where bottles of Bacardi rum are stacked and packaged for distribution across the US. His only training? A short 15-minute safety video. No hands-on guidance, no real prep for the machines he'd be working near. Then something went wrong. A palletizer machine had jammed. Glass was everywhere. Day was told to clean it up, right under a 2,000-pound platform stacked with rum cases. While he was still underneath, another worker restarted the machine, not realizing Day was down there. The platform came crashing down. Day was crushed instantly. The OSHA investigation that followed uncovered 12 safety violations at the facility, 2 of them willful, meaning Bacardi knowingly ignored dangerous conditions. They had failed to train temp workers in how to stay safe around the palletizer or how to prevent it from starting unexpectedly. The company was fined $192,000, though they later settled for $110,000. Part of the deal included promises to improve safety training, but for Day's family, the damage was already done. His mother and fiancé were left grieving, still wondering how a young man's first day on the job turned into his last. There is no public record of a separate settlement for the family, no confirmation that real justice was ever served. Day Davis was just starting out, first job, first shift, first time around heavy machinery, and it cost him his life. Many others find that diving can be dangerous if not done carefully. The main risk is drowning, which can happen as a result of insufficient training or the lack of essential safety equipment. Sadly, on April 28, 2000, Yuri Lipsky, a Russian-Israeli diving instructor, died while diving at the Blue Hole near Toab, Egypt. Despite diving expert Turk Omar's concerns about the potential hazards of the descent, after just one weekend of training, Lipsky went it alone, capturing his last moments with a helmet camera meant to film the dive. The deadly diving mishap captured on tape shows Lipsky's plunge into the Blue Hole, where he descended to a depth of about 91 meters or 300 feet. The deeper you go, the less time you have before your body absorbs too much nitrogen, causing intoxication and even narcosis. At a depth of 18 meters, one can stay for at least 30 minutes, but at 40 meters, the safe time limit is lowered to just a few minutes. He neglected to monitor his descent rate, so he was unaware of his speed, save for the increasing pressure on his eardrums. Additionally, his vision was totally obscured, leaving him without any sense of direction. In addition, the pressure at 90 meters makes oxygen toxic, which caused Lipsky to become increasingly disoriented as he descended. This, along with his distraction from filming, probably contributed to his failure to monitor his descent. When he reached the 90-meter mark at the plateau, a depth beyond the range of standard diving instruction, typically up to 40 meters or 44 meters for rescue diving, he was probably aware of his dire situation. Without specialized equipment like a highly buoyant balloon or vest, strength is drastically reduced at 90 meters due to high pressure, making ascent impossible. Exhaustion would set in long before reaching the surface, and his equipment, which included tanks, a camera, and additional batteries, added to the downward pull. He kept going down without realizing the danger until it was too late.
I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I've never hurt anybody. They've been quiet a while, so they plotting to come in here and disturb the peace here. They've already disturbed the peace. I'm not a criminal.
Corin Gaines, known for her vocal criticism of police conduct, found herself at the center of a tragic confrontation on August 1, 2016. That day, law enforcement officers arrived at her Randallstown, Maryland apartment to serve a warrant related to a prior traffic violation, a situation that quickly escalated beyond routine procedure.
The devil at my door, and he's refusing to leave.
Gaines was inside her apartment with her 5-year-old son when officers arrived, and she began live streaming the standoff on Facebook.
We're going to talk until we come to an agreement. We bring everybody out safe, and you and I go have a sit down. Because you know, and I know that this ain't right.
It's not.
The officer's cautious tone from behind the door wasn't without reason. Inside, Corin Gaines had armed herself with a shotgun. What followed was a tense 6-hour standoff that prompted the arrival of a SWAT team Unfortunately, the situation ended in tragedy. According to official accounts, when an officer kicked in the door, Gaines pointed her weapon toward him and told him to leave. Officer Royce Ruby responded by firing a shot, and Gaines reportedly returned fire. Ruby then fired 3 additional rounds, striking Gaines and accidentally wounding her 5-year-old son in the arm. The child survived, but Gaines was killed. No body camera footage exists from the incident, as Ruby wasn't wearing one. Though prosecutors later ruled the shooting justified and cleared Ruby of criminal wrongdoing, Gaines' family pursued a civil lawsuit. In 2018, a jury awarded them $38 million, concluding that the officer's initial use of deadly force was unreasonable. Car accidents are already the leading cause of death in the US, but watching your own child's final moments play out on video takes that tragedy to an entirely different level. That's what makes this next video, uploaded by Lychee Spricks, so deeply haunting. In the clip, 2 teenage boys hop into a car late at night. They blast music, hit record, and start speeding down the road. The energy is carefree. They're singing, laughing, just living in the moment, but what they didn't realize was that they were also filming the final moments of their lives. The driver appears slightly intoxicated, and although the mood is lighthearted, there's a sense of recklessness that only becomes more painful in hindsight. Had they known this would be their last drive, they never would have pressed record.
So dope. Over. Come on.
Then it fell down entirely the next second. The driver perished as a result of his intoxication, despite the other man in the passenger seat warning him to slow down. As heartbreaking as it is, this video carries a powerful lesson. Speed and recklessness should never be taken lightly. No amount of fun is worth risking your life or someone else's. Driving should never be a thrill-seeking game. Behind every tragic crash like this is a family left shattered and memories that can never be replaced. Let this serve as a reminder to slow down, stay sober, and respect the road. Although they are frequently seen on the roadways, highway trucks may also be dangerous. Final Destination fans agree. In the Rav area of Russia, on a highway between Azov and Stamin, a KAMAZ truck was completely loaded with bricks, crashed into the windshield of an Audi A4. A 29-year-old lady named Olga Gakovic was struck by a loose brick that struck the Audi A4 while she was on the passenger side.
Помогите, что делать, я попала, блядь.
The truck driver overlooked it and kept driving, and you could hear her husband sobbing in agony. The woman was rushed to the AAV hospital's emergency room with a fractured skull, where it was determined that she was dead after 2 hours of unsuccessful attempts to resuscitate her. You can only imagine the amount of anguish the man in the automobile must endure for the rest of his life, given that some comments indicate the truck driver served 5 years in prison for his crime. As we've seen before, pit bulls can pose serious risks if not properly trained or contained. In this case, the man simply stepped outside his home for a breath of fresh air, only to be ambushed within seconds by his neighbor's recently acquired dog. The sudden attack left him no time to react, turning an ordinary moment into a terrifying ordeal. Acted on instinct and in fear for his life, the man quickly drew a firearm and shot the pit bull in self-defense. The situation escalated in a matter of seconds, and his reaction was a desperate attempt to protect himself from further harm.
Call 911 right now.
Naturally, the dog's owner was upset, insisting that the animal wouldn't have bitten anyone, but the man defended his actions, explaining that he couldn't have known that in the heat of the moment, and asked what else he was supposed to do. Fortunately, the entire incident was caught on camera, and the majority of viewers agreed that his response was reasonable under the circumstances.
Damn, bro, you just a buck. Dude, I don't know that. No dog can run that at me like that. On my property, I don't know that. You didn't even tell him to get back.
I tried to. I didn't think this rope was gonna come untied. My mom just tied him up, bro. He my 7-year-old daughter dog, bro. I don't know that. I just got him for her, bro.
I understand, but I don't know that. The dog you got a kid running at me, dog.
I understand, bro. I definitely understand, bro. But you ain't have to do that, bro. You could have gave me.
What the I gonna do?
You could. He was gonna bite you, bro.
How I know that?
Though the dog was still moving at the end of the video, it likely didn't survive. It's a tragic situation all around, and one that highlights why pit bulls are banned in numerous countries and several US states. Tavi Pio's livestream abruptly ended in chaos just moments after his wife cautiously pulled into the intersection. The feed was cut short by the sound of screeching metal and Tavi's panicked scream. Viewers were left stunned, unsure of what had just happened. Tragically, it was later confirmed that their car had been struck by an oncoming train. Tavi didn't survive the crash. The sudden and violent end to the stream became a haunting moment for fans and loved ones alike, marking the untimely death of a young artist whose promising future was taken in an instant. It was later confirmed that the couple had been crossing a railway line when the crash occurred. Although Tavi's wife had looked both ways, she somehow failed to see the train rapidly approaching. By the time they realized the danger, there was no chance to react. The train slammed into their vehicle, completely destroying it. Tavi died in the crash, his final moments captured during what had started as a joyful live stream. In a haunting twist, just 1 month before the accident, he had posted on Facebook, "One day the wrong train will take you to the right destination." His wife miraculously survived but was left in critical condition and placed on life support. No further updates on her condition were publicly released. For fans, the final image of Tavi smiling, dancing, and enjoying life became a bittersweet memory of the artist they lost too soon. It's March 11th, 2018, a calm Sunday evening in New York City. A red Eurocopter AS-350 takes off, carrying 5 enthusiastic passengers and an experienced pilot, all set for what should have been a scenic flight over the city. But this isn't your typical flight. It's a doors-off photo tour meant to deliver the ultimate aerial selfie. Passengers have their feet hanging out, phones ready with the Statue of Liberty as a backdrop. It all feels thrilling until disaster strikes. Just 11 minutes into the ride, one of the passengers' harness tethers intended to keep them secure accidentally gets caught on a floor-mounted fuel shutoff switch. The engine cuts out and the helicopter starts plummeting from the sky. Pilot Richard Vance quickly issued a mayday call and attempted to glide the helicopter toward the East River. He activated the emergency floats designed to keep the aircraft upright during a water landing, but as the chopper touched down near Roosevelt Island, things took a devastating turn. It tipped and flipped upside down in the frigid river. Vance's harness had a quick release, allowing him to kick out a window and escape. The passengers weren't so fortunate. Their harnesses lacked quick-release mechanisms, trapping them underwater. Among them were photographer Trevor Cadigan, New Yorkers Tristan Hill and Daniel Thompson, firefighter Brian McDaniel from Dallas, and Argentine tourist Carla Vallejos Blanco. None survived. Trevor's family was later awarded $116 million by a jury, eventually settling for $90 million, with Fly Neon and Liberty Helicopters held largely responsible. In the aftermath, all doors-off flights without quick-release restraints were grounded, and safety regulations for such tours were tightened significantly. This is 44-year-old Callisto Benuti. On the evening of May 13, 2025, neighbors in Jacksonville, Florida called 911 after witnessing him firing a gun from the porch of his trailer. When officers arrived on the scene, they confirmed that Benuti was indeed armed. Despite multiple attempts by law enforcement to de-escalate the situation and persuade him to disarm, Benuti refused to comply or put down the weapon.
Benvenuti's family members shared with initial responding officers that Benvenuti showed signs of being a paranoid schizophrenic. Although he was never formally diagnosed, he self-medicated with alcohol, methamphetamine, and other narcotics. According to his family members, Benvenuti experienced visual hallucinations, claiming he could see his deceased father and grandmother. Additionally, Benvenuti's family members shared with officers that Benvenuti was agitated the evening of May 13th because he'd been unable to obtain narcotics.
As the standoff continued, Callisto Benuti grew increasingly agitated. At one point, he fired a shot into the ground, heightening the threat level and prompting a SWAT team to take over. Armed with a stick in one hand and a gun in the other, Benuti attempted to force his way into a neighbor's home. That's when SWAT officers decided to use lethal force. Despite immediate medical efforts to save him, Benuti succumbed to his injuries and was later pronounced dead. The following footage shows the incident from the perspective of responding officers.
Don't let him get to that other house.
You might be coming.
Come around. Hey! Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Go back! Go back! Go back! Get the hands up! Get back! I'm calling my mom! I'm calling my mom!
Drop the gun!
Drop the gun!
Drop the
gun! Mom!
Drop the gun!
Where's my mom? Where's my mom?
Sir,
I'm here to my mom! I'm here to my brother and my mom!
No! Do not!
Don't fuck with me!
No! Drop the gun!
Drop my mom!
Do not look
Drop
up
the
there.
gun! It's my mother!
He's still moving. Hold on. I can't see his right hand.
Hold on. Suspect's down on the porch of the neighboring house.
The most recent information confirms that an investigation is ongoing to assess whether the use of deadly force by SWAT officers was consistent with department policy and legal standards. Given that Callisto Benuti was armed, had fired a round, and was actively attempting to enter a neighbor's home while holding a firearm, many would argue that the officers acted to prevent a potentially greater threat to public safety. Still, these cases are complex and heavily scrutinized, especially when mental health, communication breakdowns, or possible alternatives are involved. What are your thoughts? Was the decision justified under the circumstances? On a Friday afternoon in Istanbul, 23-year-old Kubra Dojin joined her 16-year-old cousin to film content for TikTok. Hoping to capture the perfect shot, they climbed onto the roof of their family's apartment building. What started as a casual photo session quickly turned into a nightmare. Without warning, a section of the damaged rooftop gave way beneath Kubra, sending her plummeting nearly 160 feet. The tragedy, which occurred in 2021, was made even more heartbreaking by the fact that the entire incident was captured on video.
Esmer sen güzelsin.
In the footage, Kubra can be seen sitting on the edge of the rooftop, her feet dangling casually, while her cousin briefly turns the camera on herself. Suddenly, the sound of cracking plastic pierces the moment as the gray rooftop panel beneath Kubra gives way. In an instant, she plunges 9 stories to the ground below. Reports say her cousin immediately ran back to the apartment to get help, but by the time emergency services arrived, there was nothing they could do. Kubra had already passed away. On the evening of November 8, 2022, a quiet neighborhood in Millers Falls, Massachusetts was rocked by a devastating fire. It broke out suddenly around 4:45 p.m. in a 2-story home. Family members inside the house noticed the smell of something electrical burning, a detail confirmed by Tina Verscott. Tina and some neighbors rushed to put out the fire using a household extinguisher, but the flames spread too fast. Within minutes, they had no choice but to run for their lives. Tragically, Tina's mother, 65-year-old Deborah Verscott, didn't make it out. She was trapped inside, unable to escape the growing flames. When firefighters arrived, the fire had already taken hold. They worked quickly, but the structure collapsed as they fought the blaze. Although they stopped it from spreading to nearby homes, the damage was total. Deborah's body was later found inside the wreckage. Some residents criticized the response time and questioned whether more could have been done to save Deborah, but fire officials pushed back, saying they acted as fast as possible given the conditions. Millers Falls is a small town with limited firefighting resources. That made it harder to control such a fast-moving blaze. Investigators from the fire department and state agencies found no signs of foul play, but the Verscott family's early report of an electrical smell pointed to a possible cause. The official results were never widely shared. In the end, the fire destroyed everything the family owned, but the town didn't leave them behind. Neighbors raised money through GoFundMe and pitched in to help the family recover. They eventually moved into a new home. Even so, the loss of Deborah Verscott still hangs heavy over the family.
That everything that we had, including my mom, is gone. It's pure torture. It smelled electric. You know, the electrical fire smell that you smell. And I said to my husband, I said, well, maybe it's behind our bed because I seen a little bit of smoke. So I grabbed the fire extinguisher, threw it at him, and he sprayed it. Nothing. He opened our door to go down the stairs, and big black smoke just hit us.
This seemingly ordinary CCTV footage captures 8-year-old MYUU Billingham and her father William Billingham visiting a convenience store in Brown Hills, England. On the evening of January 21st, 2018, the two enter calmly. MYUU is seen happily browsing toys while William picks up a few cans of beer. Nothing in the footage hints at the horror that would unfold just hours later. Roughly 2 hours after the visit, police were called to the Billingham residence where they discovered a devastating scene. MYUU was found unresponsive, fatally stabbed in the chest, while William was also injured, though his wound was determined to be self-inflicted. Investigators soon confirmed the unthinkable. William had killed his own daughter. In court, William claimed he had no recollection of the attack and cited depression as a factor. However, the jury concluded it was a deliberate and vengeful act, fueled by resentment over his ex-partner beginning a new relationship. He was sentenced to at least 27 years in prison but died in 2021 from a lung condition. The tragedy remains haunting. Just hours after that innocent store visit, the little girl in the footage was betrayed in the most unimaginable way by the very person she trusted most. This unsettling video, recorded in 2022, shows a man visibly trembling as he eats a simple meal of rice, his final meal before execution. The man is Nagain K. Dharmalingam, a Malaysian national, filmed inside a Singapore prison. In the background, a guard silently observes. His hands aren't shaking from illness, but from the overwhelming fear of what's to come. In 2009, Nagain was arrested at the Singapore border with 42.72 grams of heroin strapped to his thigh, a quantity that, under the country's strict laws, qualifies as a capital offense. Despite years of appeals and widespread international outcry from human rights activists and organizations urging clemency, his sentence was upheld. After 12 years on death row, Nagain was executed by hanging on April 27, 2022. The case drew global attention and reignited debates around the use of the death penalty, particularly for nonviolent drug offenses. The African wilderness, vast, breathtaking, and untamed, is a place where beauty and danger walk hand in hand. For 80-year-old Gail Matson from Minnesota, it was meant to be the setting for one final adventure, a dream realized after years of longing. She envisioned golden sunrises over Zambia's Kafue National Park, the melodic calls of unseen birds, and the quiet hum of a land untouched by time. In December 2018, what began as a peaceful morning safari turned into a nightmare. Matson, along with 5 other tourists and a seasoned guide, set out on what should have been a routine game drive through Africa's oldest and largest national park. Cameras ready, they were immersed in the landscape, unaware of the danger that lurked just out of sight. Then, without warning, a massive bull elephant bursts from the brush. It charged fast. Too fast for anyone to react. The terrain offered no escape, the path blocked, the guide helpless in the face of what was to come. The elephant slammed into the vehicle with devastating force, flipping it as though it were weightless. In the chaos, bodies were thrown, metal crushed, and within moments, Gail Matson was gone. Just moments earlier, she had been smiling, holding a flower for a photo. Now she lay lifeless in the wreckage. 4 others were injured, one seriously enough to require an emergency airlift to South Africa. Those who survived would carry not only physical scars, but the trauma witnessing what should have been impossible. Back home, friends struggled to process the news. Gail had told them this trip would be her last big journey, a chance to embrace life one final time. No one could have imagined how tragically it would end. The elephant's aggression remains a mystery, possibly the result of shifting migration patterns, stressed habitats, or simple unpredictability. Climate change and human encroachment have been known to blur the boundaries between the wild and the civilized, but in this case, there were no answers. answers, only heartbreak. Wilderness Safaris, the company leading the trip, expressed deep sorrow. CEO Keith Vincent stated their guides were highly trained, but the terrain that day left them with no options. Investigations followed, but the truth was already painfully clear. Nature cannot be tamed. No amount of training or preparation can guarantee safety when the wild decides otherwise. For Gail Madsen, her journey did not end in the quiet reflection she had imagined. Instead, it concluded in the raw, unforgiving grip of the wild. A powerful reminder that while we may seek wonder in nature, we must never forget it remains beautifully and brutally beyond our control. The golden glow of the African sun stretched across the vast plains of the Lion Park near Johannesburg, casting warm light and deep shadows on what was meant to be a day of awe and discovery. For 29-year-old American Catherine Chappell, this was a dream in motion. An accomplished visual effects editor, she had helped craft epic worlds for films like Game of Thrones, Divergent, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But despite her work in Hollywood, it was the raw, untamed beauty of the natural world that truly called to her. Catherine had traveled to South Africa not only to witness its wildlife, but to contribute meaningfully to conservation efforts. She was passionate about protecting endangered species and had plans to produce a film on anti-poaching efforts, giving voice to stories often overlooked. Arriving a week before her volunteer work began, she eagerly explored the landscape that had long captivated her. But on a clear afternoon in June 2015, her journey took a tragic and irreversible turn. While on a safari drive through the park, Catherine sat in a slow-moving vehicle, surrounded by the distant roars and rustling of the wind. From the tall grass, a lioness appeared, graceful, powerful, and alert. Drawn to the breathtaking sight, Catherine raised her camera. Despite the park's strict rule to keep windows shut at all times, she rolled hers down to get a better shot. The lioness crept closer, her amber eyes fixed on the vehicle. Then, in a flash, the calm dissolved into chaos. The lion lunged through the open window, her jaws clamping down in a violent blur. Catherine didn't have a moment to react. The attack was immediate, overwhelming, and final. Their guide, Pierre Potter, fought to fend off the animal, suffering injuries to his arms in the process. The trauma of the scene overwhelmed him. He collapsed from a heart attack in the aftermath. Though paramedics arrived quickly, nothing could be done. Catherine was already gone. Her death sent shockwaves through her family and the film industry. Her parents, Mary and John, and her siblings Jennifer, Lauren, and Ryan, were devastated. On social media, they shared their heartbreak, remembering her as a radiant, adventurous soul who embraced the world without hesitation. Her colleagues in Hollywood mourned the loss of a gifted talent whose work had touched millions. Authorities investigated the incident but found no wrongdoing by the park or its staff. The lion, they concluded, had simply acted on instinct. In the wild, there is no malice, only survival. Mistakes, however unintentional, can be fatal. Catherine Chappell sought to tell powerful stories, to capture the truth of the world beyond the lens of fiction. In the end, her story became a sobering reminder. The wild is breathtaking and inspiring, but it's also unforgiving, and it does not yield to even the purest of intentions. Kareth Kumar, a well-known Indian influencer admired for his adventurous spirit and creative content, set out in 2023 to film what he hoped would be a breathtaking video for his TikTok followers. He chose a striking location, a rock perched in front of a powerful waterfall, but what was meant to be a showcase of beauty and boldness quickly turned tragic. As the camera rolled, Kumar lost his footing and slipped into the fast-moving river below. His disappearance sparked a frantic search, and after a week of searching through the dense jungle, authorities sadly recovered his body, confirming he had not survived the fall. What was intended as a moment of inspiration became a heartbreaking reminder how quickly adventure can turn to tragedy. In March 2017, Craig Smith, a resident of Birkenhead, made a frantic 999 call, claiming that his 2-year-old stepson, Teddy Tilston, had swallowed bathwater and was now unresponsive. On the call, Smith sounded panicked. pleading for help and trying to resuscitate the child. At first glance, it appeared to be a tragic accident, but what followed would reveal a much darker truth.
Ambulance, is the patient breathing?
No, he's not.
He's not breathing?
It's a little 2-year-old boy. He's just been in the bath. He's just swallowed water.
And he's not breathing?
He's not breathing. His eyes are open. He's not moving. No movement, no breathing.
Okay, what's the address of the emergency?
I'm trying. Come on, please. Come on.
Okay, how old is he?
He's 2.
He's 2?
Yeah. Come on, mate.
This is not delaying the help at all, okay?
I'm trying to breathe air into his lungs and he's just...
Is he...
on the wheel.
Right,
he's
okay.
His eyes aren't moving. He's
Right, listen. I'm organising help for you now. Stay on the line. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do next, okay? And he's 2.
He's dead, as far as I can see. He's dead.
Okay, all right, listen to me. I'm going to tell you how to help him. Okay, the help's being arranged as I'm speaking to you, okay? Stay on the line with me.
Come on.
Are you right by him now?
I'm right by him. He's just...
Right, listen carefully. Lay him flat on his back on the ground.
Flat on his back.
Remove any pillows and then kneel next to him and look into his mouth for food or vomit.
I've cleared all food and
vomit
out of his
in his mouth?
No.
No.
Not
Okay, now place your hand on his forehead, your other hand under his neck, and carefully tilt his head back. And then put your ear next to his mouth. Can you feel or hear any breathing?
It's just like bubbling.
Can you feel or hear any breathing?
No, it's air coming out.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how to give mouth to mouth. Pinch his nose closed and completely cover his mouth with your mouth. Then blow 2 regular breaths into his lungs, about 1 second each. Just enough to make his chest rise with each breath.
Right, okay. No. It's just the air.
Could you feel the air going in and out?
Yes, yeah.
You could? Okay, listen carefully. I'll tell you how to do chest compressions. Make sure he's flat on his back on the floor. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone in the centre of his chest, right between the nipples.
Okay.
Push down 2 inches with only the heel of your hand touching his chest. Pump his chest hard and fast, at least twice a second. Let his chest come all the way up between pumps and tell me when you're done. Okay, count the compressions out loud.
1, 2.
Right, you need to be going at a rate of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're still doing nothing.
You're doing really well. Just keep going.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, now with your hand under his neck, pinch his nose closed and carefully tilt his head back again.
Yeah.
Give 2 more regular breaths and pump his chest 30 times more. Make sure the heel of your hand is on the breastbone in the centre of his chest, right between the nipples.
One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4.
Have you done the 2 more breaths?
Yeah, I've done 2 more breaths.
You've done the 2 more breaths, okay. So from now on, just keep giving him 2 breaths and then 30 pumps, 2 breaths and 30 pumps. Keep doing it until help arrives to take over. Tell me when you're right with him.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're doing really well. Keep going. Don't give up. This will keep him going till the ambulance crew arrives. Just keep repeating the cycle of 2 breaths and 30 pumps. 2 breaths on 30 pumps. Keep doing it until help can take over. Okay, tell me when they're right with you or if anything changes. Just keep doing the 2 breaths on the 30 pumps.
I can hear an ambulance now.
Okay, just keep going until they're right with you. Is there somebody in the house with you?
Well, no, just me and the other daughter.
Is she old enough to go and open the front door?
No, she's only 3. My missus is in hospital already with the other 2-year-old. She banged her head this morning.
Oh gosh, okay. Just you keep going until you hear them knocking.
Yeah, just knocking now.
Okay, run and open the door as quickly as you can.
However, as investigators in Liverpool looked deeper into the case, the story began to unravel. There was no evidence to support the claim that little Teddy had swallowed bathwater. Instead, the truth was far more disturbing. It was revealed that Craig Smith had struck 2-year-old Teddy in the stomach with such force that it caused fatal internal bleeding. That same morning, Teddy's twin sister, Cassidy, was hospitalized with a head injury, further raising alarm. Smith, 28, was ultimately convicted of Teddy's murder and the assault on Cassidy. He was sentenced to a minimum of 17 years in prison. The children's mother, Ashley Willett, was also found guilty, charged with cruelty after it was discovered Teddy had over 40 visible injuries, including an older brain bleed. She was additionally convicted of assault in connection with Cassidy's injury. What began as a desperate emergency call turned out to be the cover for a harrowing case of prolonged abuse. 10-year-old Sarah Sharif endured unimaginable abuse at the hands of those who were supposed to protect her. Living in Woking, England, she suffered a long history of violence, broken bones, burns, strangulation, and severe neglect. Despite multiple red flags, including reports from her school and visits from social services, Sarah tragically slipped through the cracks. On August 9th, 2023, just hours before police would discover her lifeless body in a bunk bed at the family home, CCTV at Heathrow Airport captured a disturbing scene. Sarah's father, stepmother Bainash Batul, and uncle Faisal Malik calmly walking through airport security headed for a flight to Pakistan. After arriving in Islamabad, her father, Irfan Sharif, made a chilling call to UK authorities. "I illegally punished her," he said. "I killed my daughter. I beat her up too much." A months-long international manhunt followed, with UK and Pakistani law enforcement working together to locate the fugitives. In December 2024, both Irfan and Bainash were found guilty of Sarah's murder and sentenced to life in prison. Her uncle Faisal Malik was also convicted, this time for allowing her death, and received a 16-year prison sentence. Sarah's case remains a haunting reminder of what can happen when warnings go unheeded and systems meant to protect the vulnerable fail. On December 17, 2012, a group set out to run the Cheat River in West Virginia. Known for its powerful whitewater rapids, one of the rapids they approached was Three Amigos, a stretch famous for its fast-moving current and massive waves. As Nancy and her rescue partner discussed their line, they chose to go down the middle channel and attempt a boof move on the left side, but things went wrong fast. Nancy hit a rock at a bad angle and got sucked into a sieve head first. She ended up pinned between her kayak and a boulder. The rescuer managed to run the drop, catch an eddy, and blow the whistle 3 times to signal an emergency.
Hold on! Other side! She's on the... John's landing. Watch my boat.
Nancy was partially above the surface, but her position was dangerously unstable. The rescuer quickly left his boat, climbed onto a nearby rock, and tried to reach her. Using his paddle for balance, he extended it toward Nancy but lost his footing in the process. That slip caused Nancy to slip deeper, disappearing completely beneath the water.
okay? Nancy! Paddle!
Another member of the group, Ken Durr, stepped in to assist the rescuer. Working together, they managed to pull Nancy out of the water after nearly 2.5 minutes. Fortunately, she was conscious and breathing, though visibly exhausted. It was a frightening ordeal for both Nancy and her rescuer.
Are you okay?
After removing her from the stream, Bill Durr and another man tried CPR for 40 minutes without success. He took her body out of the river and cut loose a strap that was stuck on a branch of the submerged tree. Nancy, 56, was declared dead at the spot, even after 40 minutes of cardiopulmonary resuscitation. The water current was too powerful to save her. When jogging the river, people should constantly exercise caution and be on the lookout for any obstacles.
Get the truck, bro! Get the back! Go back to your truck! Well, look at the back of your truck! Look, good, alright? Bro, look at the back of your truck, look at the back. What? Look at my truck right there. I got no cam. Big bro! Don't worry, big show!
On March 7th, 2025, a confrontation in Scottsdale, Arizona escalated into a deadly officer-involved shooting that claimed the life of 42-year-old Joseph Santos. The incident began around 10 p.m. when surveillance footage from a gas station captured Santos confronting another man and pulling a firearm. The man fled into the store and later returned safely to his hotel, where he contacted police to report the encounter. What followed would quickly turn a tense situation into a fatal one.
911, do you need police, fire, or medical?
Police.
What's the address?
Bixby Hotel. The problem happened on the parking lot. The guy hit my truck. He's in a SUV. He's still out here now. He drunk. He pulled a weapon out. He came back. He just wasted. So I just approached him, telling me, "Hey, you hit my truck. I'm looking at you." And he just started going off crazy. And he pulled out a gun.
Officers soon located Joseph Santos's SUV and attempted a traffic stop, but he sped off, evading police. Not long after, he returned to the area where the initial victim had been and pulled in directly behind a marked patrol car. Acting quickly, officers boxed in Santos's vehicle using an unmarked unit and approached with their weapons drawn, prepared for a potentially volatile encounter.
Do not move, okay?
What the f*** you guys talking
Open
about?
the door. Keep your hands up.
Do you have anyone on driver's side?
Keep your hands up right now.
Shoot me.
Back up, back up.
Hey, you guys
put your hands up.
Shoot me here.
Mary, get out of the way.
Yep, go.
Sorry, get out of the way.
Back up, go.
Hey, shoot me, nigga.
Put your hands up, put your hands up.
Despite repeated commands to surrender, Joseph Santos refused to comply. Instead, he took off his shirt and threw it out the window, an action that further heightened tensions. Moments later, he reached into the backseat of his SUV, a sudden movement that caused officers to deploy K9 Rocco in an attempt to subdue him before the situation escalated further.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. No. Put your hands up. Listen. Put your hands up now. Get your hands in the air. Fast.
As K9 Rocco entered Santos's vehicle, the situation spiraled out of control. In the chaos that followed, an officer fired through the SUV's windshield, striking both Joseph Santos and the police dog. Santos collapsed inside the vehicle and was pronounced dead at the scene. K9 Rocco was wounded in the gunfire but survived after receiving medical treatment and eventually made a full recovery. In the aftermath, Scottsdale police swiftly released a critical incident briefing, including body cam and drone footage, offering the public a transparent view of this confrontation and supporting the conclusion that the use of force was justified under the circumstances. On November 20, 2018, 21-year-old British backpacker Grace Milani arrived in New Zealand after an extended journey through South America. She had explored places like Shell in Peru and Cape Reinga in New Zealand, regularly updating her family on her travels. On November 30, just 2 days before her 22nd birthday, Grace returned to Auckland and checked into a local backpacker hostel. While there, she used Tinder and arranged a few dates, including one with Jesse Kempson. At 5:37 p.m. that evening, Grace left the hostel to meet him, pausing along the way to snap a photo of a Christmas tree at the Sky City complex, a photo she sent to her family. Tragically, it would be the last message they'd ever receive from her. Later that night, Grace was murdered by Kempson in his hotel room, but his actions wouldn't go unnoticed. CCTV cameras captured nearly every move he made, meeting Grace, walking with her, and returning to the hotel. In the days that followed, he was seen buying cleaning supplies in a suitcase, footage that would later become crucial evidence. As Grace's birthday passed, her loved ones grew concerned. When their messages and calls went unanswered, worry turned to alarm. On December 5, 2018, a missing person report was filed and her father appeared on national television pleading for information. The Auckland police launched a detailed investigation retracing Grace's final steps. As they uncovered an overwhelming amount of surveillance footage, it became clear that Kempson had left a trail of evidence leading directly to him. What began as a date ended in tragedy, but thanks to tireless police work and digital evidence, the truth was brought to light and justice began to take shape. Surveillance shows Grace seeing Jesse at Sky City at 5:45 p.m. on December 1st and leaving with him. After we see Jess and Grace strolling across Sky City together. Around 7 p.m., Jesse and Grace started going out to bars before arriving at the Bluest Room, where they exchanged drinks and kiss. Grace is then spotted messaging her pal to say how much fun she is having on her date. However, things would go nasty a few hours afterwards. At 9:40 p.m. on November 30th, 2018, CCTV footage shows Grace Milani and Jesse Kempson leaving the bar together, holding hands and appearing affectionate as they cross the street. They walk toward City Life Hotel where Kempson had been staying and take the elevator up to his apartment. Tragically, this would be the last time Grace was seen alive. What followed over the next 48 hours was a disturbing sequence of events meticulously captured through digital and surveillance evidence. In the early hours of December 2nd, between 1:29 a.m. and 6 a.m., Kempson's phone activity revealed chilling search history. Terms like extra-large bags, rigor mortis, hottest fire, carpet cleaner, and how to create alibis. That same morning at 8 a.m., CCTV footage showed him entering the elevator alone and leaving the apartment, this time to purchase cleaning supplies in a large suitcase, items that would soon be linked to his attempt to dispose of Grace's body. Every move he made was being recorded, forming a damning timeline that would ultimately bring justice for Grace. Before heading out on another Tinder date, Jesse rents a car from Apex Car Rental at roughly 10:33 a.m. Later that afternoon, Jesse Kempson's internet history revealed more disturbing searches, including flesh-eating birds and are there vultures in New England, a grim indication of his mindset. That same day, his behavior grew increasingly suspicious. He obtained a carpet cleaning machine, brought it up to his apartment, used it, and returned it just hours later. At 9:26 a.m., CCTV footage shows Kempson wheeling a luggage cart into the elevator, then out through the lobby and onto the street where he loads multiple suitcases, one of which would later be identified as containing Grace's body, into his rental car. On December 3rd at 7 a.m., more footage captures Kempson purchasing a shovel from a nearby store. He then drove to the Waitakere Ranges, a forested area of Auckland, where he buried Grace's body in a shallow grave. After the burial, he wasn't done covering his tracks. He was later seen disposing of additional items, taking clothes to a dry cleaner and even taking the rental car to a car wash in an effort to erase any remaining evidence. But by then, investigators were already closing in. His every step had been recorded, and those steps would become critical pieces in securing a conviction. Days later at Albert Park, Jesse Kempson was once again caught on CCTV, this time discarding items into a public trash bin in what appeared to be another attempt to cover his tracks. But by then, law enforcement was closing in fast. Within hours, they were ready to bring him in for questioning. As officers searched for him inside a building, Jesse unknowingly walked past, spotted them, and attempted to slip away unnoticed. But his escape was short-lived. Police quickly recognized him, caught up without delay, and escorted him straight to the interrogation room. His efforts to hide the truth had failed. His every move had been watched, recorded, and was now unraveling.
So I was talking to Grace on Tinder. We'd matched on Friday. I saw that we'd matched the next day on Saturday.
How did the evening pan out?
Yeah, pretty good. I didn't initially know that she was real.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of, so have you heard of catfish?
No.
So catfishing is where someone uses your profile, or uses your photos and pretends to be you and then meets, and you're a completely different person.
Right.
And it's happened to a few people I know in Australia, and it's all over the TV. So I thought, you know what, if I meet at Sky City, at least I know that there's lots of people around, so if it is someone that it's not, then I can just walk away.
How did the evening sort of come to an end?
There was a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and a thanks, nice meeting you. And then I said, let me know about tomorrow. And she said, okay. And then she kept walking.
We actually don't know if she's been murdered or not yet. She may be alive and well.
Okay.
But she might also be dead. Okay? And it could be that you've done it.
Hey, I just want to ask a question. Am I being arrested for something I didn't do?
You haven't been arrested, mate.
Oh. Holy.
Despite Jesse's calm demeanor and attempts to feign innocence during initial questioning, investigators were steadily building their case. A search of his apartment revealed traces of blood, evidence he had tried but failed to scrub away. With this discovery, police brought Jesse back into the interrogation room, this time determined to confront him with the mounting proof and press for the truth he had worked so hard to conceal.
To me about 50 Shades of Grey, which is a sex fantasy movie that's out. We started having sex. At first it was just normal. It was very placid. And then she asked me if we could get into bondage. And then all I remember is falling asleep in the shower. I need to stop. I need to go.
Would you like some fresh air?
Yeah, please. I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. I went downstairs and I was just, I don't know, I was all over the place. I didn't believe what had happened. I was just terrified and scared. I thought that she had gone. I thought she had left.
Pathologist, specialist doctor will perform a post-mortem. They're very skilled at establishing people's causes of death. Do you understand that? Did you kill Grace Mullane? You're under arrest for the murder of Grace Mullane.
Jesse Kempson was formally charged and arrested for the murder of Grace Mullane. Investigators used data from his phone, his incriminating Google searches, GPS location history, and surveillance footage to track his movements and ultimately locate Grace's body, buried in a suitcase in the Waitakere Ranges. With overwhelming evidence against him, Kempson was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum non-parole period of 17 years. Justice, though delayed, was served. On the evening of May 28, 2025 in Windhoek, Namibia, 19-year-old Pia Skalipa had just finished collecting the day's earnings from his mother's small shop and was heading home. CCTV footage captured him walking along the street, attempting to hail a taxi, just another routine moment in his daily life. But less than 2 hours later, everything changed. At approximately 7:45 p.m., police officers discovered Pias gravely injured, suffering from a stab wound to the chest. With what little strength he had left, he whispered that 2 men had attacked him. Tragically, the injuries were too severe and Pias passed away shortly after due to blood loss.
My brother, he was one of the strongest people I knew. And he never let people who he cared about just suffer. He always helped.
I met Pius in grade 8. Like, he was a newcomer at my school and I became friends with him. We had our ups and downs, but he was always there for me and I was always there for him. For somebody to always sleep in the middle of the night knowing that I took a young boy's life, that still had a bright future ahead of him, knowing that you did that, I don't know how you are able to sleep. So it's pointless that you are even happy with what you did, instead of coming forward and say, I'm the one who did this and I feel this and this. But it really hurts me knowing that we have to come here knowing that we lost somebody that's very dear to us.
It was a seemingly senseless act of violence that cut a young life short. As of the most recent reports, those responsible for Pia Skalipa's death have yet to be identified or apprehended. His killers remain at large, leaving his family and community still searching for justice. Soaring above the snow-covered peaks of the Italian Alps, chilling GoPro footage captures the precise moment a helicopter and a tourist plane collide midair, just seconds after takeoff. The tragic incident occurred on January 25, 2019 above the Ruder Glacier in the Aosta Valley, roughly 50 miles from Turin. The footage, later recovered from 2 GoPro cameras found at the crash site, reveals the terrifying speed and force of the collision. In the aftermath, 7 people lost their lives, marking one of the region's most devastating aviation disasters in recent years. A gang-related shooting happened in broad daylight right outside a church, leaving 16-year-old Gavin dead and 18-year-old Daniel seriously wounded. The two were walking near the church when someone pulled up and things escalated fast. Several shots rang out, and neighbors started calling 911. By the time police showed up, the shooter had already taken off in a pickup truck. All that was left behind were bullet holes in the church walls, a red bag lying on the ground, and tire marks leading away from the scene.
Here, hang on. Let's pull this up. Where's the VIN?
Oh man, I don't even fucking know, fool. I just feel shit, man. Is that I took shit, man? Did you blow my balls or something?
I can't find it, man. There's an entry wound right there.
Do we have any suspect vehicles? Really bad?
Oh no, it's right here in the penis.
Negative, I don't believe any police saw anything. Please don't fucking make me lose my balls, man.
So you guys were just driving by?
We lived on the block. We were leaving our home and we were about to get in the truck to go to work early, and we heard like 6 or 7 shots. And then we came this way, and if the kid, if he didn't stick his hand out, I wouldn't have seen him.
So what do you mean stick his hand out?
He stuck his hand out like this.
Like, okay, waving you down?
Yeah, and then we stopped right there and we backed up, and then he started calling.
All right, man, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to pull this. pull your shorts down to help.
All right, go ahead, man.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you ready?
Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Hey. Do you see an exit?
Is that hella bad, homie? You gotta fucking tell me, man.
Negative. Let's roll them on the side. See if there's a exit wound. There is right here. Okay. On this left, right.
Okay, and then you guys called?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a cigarette, there's this bag. Hey, we have a shooting. We have one down, possibly DOA right now, working on him. And one shot in the groin. It sounded like the echoing, it could have been coming from back that way.
Okay.
So
it looks like, yeah, the footprints come this way through the stuff, at least my impression of where we're at. Yeah,
I think he's done.
Yeah. Do you have a pulse? Okay, let's try at least compression.
1, 2, 3.
121. Turns out the red bag belonged to Gavin. Inside it, police found a stolen gun, which only added to the suspicion that this was gang-related. A nearby home security camera actually caught the shooting on video, but someone tried to mess with the system and almost erased it. Investigators think the person was connected to the shooter. Thankfully, police managed to recover the footage, and it helped them ID the suspect.
Sounds like 2 pickups pulled up, a white one and a blue one. Okay. They were right in here, so he says there's no one else inside, but they got good cameras. Can you start working on getting the video footage from him?
They're not involved?
No, well, we don't know.
Did you see what happened?
I don't know. I was taking a shower because, I just got a haircut.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just heard that shit. I was like, what the fuck? I seen these 2 little guys running that way.
Okay. What'd you hear or see? Or?
Oh, I just heard the gunshots.
How many?
I don't know, man.
You're not sure how many?
No.
Okay. Did you see anyone over here in your yard or anything like that?
No.
As far as your cameras, did they work?
No, they don't. We just set them up. Wires got messed up from the wind and shit. My brother moved out, so he took the system with him.
Okay, did you hear anything out here?
No, I was in the shower, man.
You were in the shower?
Yeah,
Okay.
Showering, just got back from my haircut.
Okay. Where's the camera system you said?
It was in the room.
Which room?
No, right.
To the right. This one right here?
No, behind.
Left.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And is it easy to find?
No. Well, it's gone.
So there's no system left here?
It's just wires.
Just wires?
From what I know, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they've been bringing shit back, so.
Okay.
You know.
Did you see a DVR in there?
Yeah.
There is one?
Yeah. Supposedly brother moved out and took it with him. The cameras don't work.
Okay.
Dad was saying they do work earlier.
Okay. Do you want to take him to the station and you and Adam start interviewing him?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be critical. I'll start processing the scene. We've got at least 8 cases here.
Okay.
And that's what witnesses are, 7 to 8. Okay.
People who lived near the scene, including a guy named Luis, whose house was right next to where it all went down, were questioned. Most of them gave sketchy answers or said they didn't see anything. Luis claimed he was in the shower when it happened, but other details in camera footage told a different story. Cops believe some neighbors kept quiet out of fear because they knew the people involved.
Before the shooting, you heard the gunshots? Before that, what was Luis doing?
I don't know. Probably in his room.
Okay.
Like I said, I was just in my room.
Which one's your room?
Who is your nephew?
Gavin.
Okay. Okay. This is what I will do. Do you live around here?
I do. I live right over here on Marina, and I hadn't seen him for a while, and then he came over last night, knocked on the door, and I said, can I get a place to stay? And I said, sure, you can stay overnight, Gavin. And then he left, I don't know, around 11 or so, and he said he was going to be in the neighborhood.
Just walking by, man.
Okay.
Literally. I had nothing to do with it. Came out, boom. That's what I see.
What was what with the red bag?
I seen the red bag on the floor in the ground. That's all I seen.
Okay.
When we review the recorded video surveillance, it's not going to show you out here whatsoever engaging with these people.
It'll show whatever.
Okay. That's it. You shower and that was it?
Yeah, that's my statement, man. I don't want to say anything else. They're just trying to finesse me.
No, I'm not, man. I'm just trying to...
Yeah, you are.
What do you mean? No, I'm saying is you're in the shower for 20 minutes, and then what happened then? Did you hear gunshots?
Yeah, I told you at my house. I heard gunshots. I look at the window. Red bag right there.
Eventually, Daniel, the one who survived, agreed to talk. He told police that Serrano had walked up and asked, "What do you bang?" basically asking which gang they were in. Both teens admitted their affiliations, and right after that, Serrano opened fire. Daniel was shot in the groin but survived. Gavin was hit badly, and Daniel tried to help him, but Gavin collapsed near the church and later died from his wounds. truck's license plate led cops to 26-year-old Daniel Serrano. They found him at a house and arrested him after a short standoff.
I got 40.
Daniel Serrano Sosa, you're under arrest. Come outside.
Hey, if he comes out, you're lethal, less lethal. Serrano, come to us. Come to us.
There's no escape out here.
Yep.
Daniel Serrano Sosa, you're under arrest. This is the police department.
One window, one to the room. Receive.
Your hands up. Stop. Stop there. Stop there. Turn around. Put your hands on top of your head. Interlace your fingers.
Play over here, man. I got you. Transition out.
Walk. Walk.
Take the door.
Keep walking. Keep walking.
Okay. Get to your knees. Drop your knees. Here.
Investigators later found out Gavin had been in a fight earlier that same day. He'd also posted gang-related stuff online and might have been planning to get back at someone. That gave police a better idea what led up to the shooting. Serrano eventually pleaded guilty. He got 15 years for second-degree murder and another 10 years for first-degree assault. The whole situation is just another example of how deadly gang violence can be, especially for teenagers. Not long after Gavin was killed, another teen, a 14-year-old, was shot and killed in a separate drive-by in the same area, showing just how serious and ongoing this issue really is. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.
Honestly, I can't believe that this happened tonight. This is...
I can believe it. I just watched how you were f***ing driving.
I'm so sorry, officer. What was your name?
What?
What was your name, officer?
On the night of January 7, 2025, police responded to what looked like a minor crash. A man and woman at the scene said they were fine and didn't need help.
Oh, okay. You guys need an ambulance or anything?
No, everybody's okay.
Here's what we could do. We can get you checked out, okay? If you guys don't want to go to the hospital, you guys can refuse, okay? 331. Can you roll an ambulance this way?
I know, but you got all that... Just a little abrasion on my forehead?
Yeah.
I'm a medical student, so...
Oh, cool.
Central 393, another vehicle here, 4021.
How old are you, man?
I'm turning 20.
Oh, you look young.
No, I completely understand.
But nearby, officers found a second car totaled with a man and his young daughter inside. The man was trapped and the girl, who had no car seat, was badly hurt.
Watch out for the kid here. I got. Watch his hand here, too. 331,
Hey, you alright?
What hurts? What hurts? You alright? Where does it hurt? Are you alright?
You okay? Don't move, sir.
Come on, sweetie. Hey, let's get her in the back of a squad car. Watch out. This guy back here. He's not good. Are you alright? Can you understand?
Yes, can you get the ambulance to 4021?
Try not to move, okay, sweetheart? We got the ambulance on the way, alright? We got your little girl in the back seat. We're gonna have her checked out too, alright?
You're okay?
Yes. Yeah. I don't feel like I have a concussion, or I'm not,
Yeah.
disorientated or anything. It was a genuine mistake. I can't believe that this happened.
You lost control, or?
Her and I just went out on a little joyride, and when I was stepping on the brakes, it was a little bit too late, and
I got you.
It was a mistake. I'm so sorry.
Girl, make sure she doesn't have any.
Do they know that this guy's trapped?
We're gonna help you. We're here to help you, okay? You guys have insurance in the vehicle, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we'll grab that when they pull it out.
My dad is a government agent, so...
Oh, cool. For where?
He works for the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency.
Emergency crews rushed in. The girl was taken to the hospital, and video footage later showed the car that hit them was doing 93 miles per hour just seconds before impact and ran a red light.
No.
She got it on film. They was going like 80, bro. Down Southwest Highway. I was inside. I just heard it. But when I came out, I saw them driving. I helped both of them out. The way they was talking to me, I knew what time it was.
No one was in any of the other vehicles that I collided with? No one else?
Over there was one.
Are they okay?
They're checking on him right now.
But they're
We don't know. I haven't been over there, to be totally honest
But
with you.
they're still coherent and whatnot, right?
Yeah. They're okay over there? No, are they okay over there? Right now. Alright, so you were driving eastbound, so you were driving a little fast.
I mean, you know, not more
You weren't
than
able to stop.
10, 15 miles over the speed limit.
No, I got you.
You know, it was an honest mistake. I honestly, I can't believe that this happened tonight. This is.
I can believe it. I just watched how you were f***ing driving.
I'm so sorry, officer. What was your name?
What?
What was your name, officer?
Hey, did you see the video?
Yeah.
Where's that?
He's flying. She got dash cam.
She got
He's
stopped.
flying past her, pulls through the red light, and smokes his car.
Said he was going 10 over.
It's red, wait before it gets.
That doesn't happen. So. Cool. So what
Give these guys a story.
What happened exactly?
Yeah, Officer Harrison, 417, took my story.
Okay.
I was coming through here, going southbound on Cicero.
Okay.
And I must have been going like 55, 60 at most.
Okay.
And by the time I was hitting this light, it was a yellow. I tried to, pump my brakes, especially since...
The driver admitted to having a couple espresso martinis but brushed it off as a mistake, claiming he was only a little over the speed limit. A witness confirmed he seemed drunk and was speeding. The driver also said he was upset about his dad's terminal illness.
So just be straight with me, man. How much have you had to drink tonight?
Honestly, a couple hours ago I had, two or three drinks, but that was, 2 or 3 hours ago at this point.
Okay,
So.
what did you drink?
4 hours ago is only 2 espresso martinis.
Okay, 2
That's
espresso martinis.
4 hours ago.
Did you have anything else, like any type of
No.
drugs, like any weed,
No,
anything like
no.
that? Do you take any medication for anything, anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I don't take any
Okay.
medication.
Did you take any medication tonight?
No.
Okay. Where were you drinking at your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
How many did you have total tonight? I know you said a couple, like 2 to 3.
No, that's exactly as
Okay.
she explained. Only 2 or 3. We just after that, my dad and I, just with everything that he is going on.
Yes, and
her and
I
just want
understand.
to-
I understand that.
It was
Okay.
it was an honest
So,
mistake,
this-
and it's so. I'm sorry.
This is where we're at. Okay, we got to make sure that you're okay to drive.
Yeah.
So.
If anything, we can, I can always call Google for us.
Okay,
but
I'll do it. You can observe. Okay. All right. What you do is stand with your hands down at your side, your feet together. Okay. I want you to follow the tip of my finger, the tip of my finger only. You can see that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I literally was just getting some gas. I was leaving this girl crib over here. And I know my man on the gas station. I was getting some gas. I came out to get my phone because I was going to load my Bitcoin. And they sent a code to your phone. And I heard like, I'm like, who's speeding in Oakland? And that motherfucker went, he f***ed up, bro. I feel bad because they're checking right now. I could tell by the way I was trying to help him out. He was looking like this. I'm like, bro, get out. Like, I don't know if the car gonna blow up. Just as a human, I'm trying to help him out.
No, you were doing the right thing. That's why I saw you, and I'm like, hey, I didn't know if you were in the taxi at first. And then
No,
I'm like, oh, that's
I just wanted to help him as a human, bro, but he was lit, bro. Like,
but all these cars are.
That's fucked up.
No.
That's fucked up.
So here's what I can do: is I can give you an opportunity to take a portable breathalyzer test. What that pretty much shows is your ability if you're able to drive or not. Are you willing to submit to one of those?
whether it's me, I mean, at this point I'm not driving home, so it's going to be me taking Uber. So.
Okay. So are you able to take one of those, or?
I'm not sure if I want to without my lawyer present.
Okay. Well, as of right now, you're not under arrest. Asking you that, but just based off of the signs of impairment, I'm going to ask you to turn around and put your hands behind your back. Because now you're under arrest for DUI. Okay.
But the footage didn't lie. It showed reckless driving, so police opened a DUI case. Sadly, the man in the wrecked car died 3 hours later. His 7-year-old daughter survived but was critically injured with a fractured spine and lung damage. The driver was charged with felony reckless homicide and DUI. At a January 9 hearing, prosecutors asked to keep him in jail, but the judge released him under strict conditions: nightly curfew, random testing, and a breathalyzer in his car. A follow-up hearing on January 16 was set to decide if he could drive while awaiting trial. That decision hasn't been shared yet, but given how serious this is, it's likely he's not allowed to drive. It was Sunday afternoon, April 24th, 2022 when 10-year-old Lily Peters left her home in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. She was heading to her aunt's house, just a 3-minute bike ride away. Since her parents' divorce, Lily lived with her dad, Alexander, and weekend visits to her aunts were nothing out of the ordinary, but this time she never came back. As the sun began to set and the sky dimmed, Alexander noticed Lily hadn't returned. It wasn't like her to stay out late. He called his sister, thinking maybe Lily was still there, but she told him Lily had left over an hour ago. Alarmed, Alexander reached out to the parents of Lily's friends, hoping she'd make a stop on the way back, but no one had seen her. With dread rising, he searched the route Lily usually took, and by 9 p.m., he contacted police to report his daughter missing. Although authorities didn't issue an Amber Alert, they took immediate action. A search party was formed, drones were deployed, and rescue dogs were brought in to sweep the wooded area near the trail. A few hours into the search, Alexander stumbled on something no parent ever wants to see: Lily's bike, abandoned in a patch of woods near the trail, but Lily herself was nowhere to be found. The search intensified overnight, and by 8:45 a.m. the next morning, the news every parent fears arrived. A volunteer discovered Lily's body hidden beneath a pile of leaves just a few feet from the trail. Police ruled her death a homicide on the spot and launched a full investigation. For a while, they had nothing to go on until something strange happened. On Reddit's true crime forum, a user named HomesliceNation4 posted a chilling comment. They claimed they were in the park playing Pokemon Go that day and believed they'd seen Lily on her bike with another kid. They even said they had a gut feeling the killer might be another child. The comment was deleted shortly after, but another user had already contacted police. That tip turned out to be exactly what investigators needed. Within hours, police arrested 14-year-old Carson Petersberger, Lily's cousin. Under questioning, Carson confessed to everything. He admitted that he'd been planning the attack for months. That afternoon, he followed Lily as she left their aunt's house and led her off the trail into the woods. Once they were hidden, he punched her in the stomach, hit her repeatedly with a large stick, and strangled her until she stopped breathing. Afterward, he simply went home and pretended like nothing had happened. When the search for Lily began later that evening, Carson panicked. He returned to the woods, dragged her body farther from the original scene, and covered it with leaves in an attempt to hide what he'd done. Thanks to a single Reddit comment, the truth came out, and because of the brutality and premeditation of the crime, Carson is being charged as an adult. He remains in custody and is expected to go on trial in 2026. What began as a quiet Sunday afternoon turned into a nightmare no one could have predicted. Lily's family was shattered, and the community was left stunned by the cold, calculated actions of someone they never imagined capable. Susan Rainwater set off on her usual bike ride through Edenville, Washington at about 3 p.m. on August 9, 2018. The 66-year-old had ridden that route countless times. So when dusk rolled in and she still wasn't home, her husband, David, knew something was wrong. He climbed into his truck and retraced the road she always took. Minutes later, he spotted the twisted frame of her bicycle in the grass. A few steps beyond, he found Susan on the ground, gravely hurt. She was already gone. Police arrived and pieced together what had happened. A car had slammed into Susan from behind and then sped away. No one had witnessed the crash, and there were no nearby security cameras. The only clue was a shard of black plastic lying near the bike. Troopers guessed it had snapped off the killer's vehicle, but they couldn't tell what kind of car it belonged to. They photographed the mystery part and, hoping for help, posted the pictures on Twitter and the department's website. The tweet didn't spread far, but someone copied the photos to the What Is This Thing subreddit. Within hours, the thread exploded with theories. Users agreed the plastic was a headlight bezel, the piece that frames the truck's headlamp assembly. That narrows things down. Yet dozens of makes and models still used similar bezels. Then a Maryland state inspector who goes by Jeff's Nuts online joined the discussion. He'd handled thousands of inspections and recognized the part instantly. He posted, "That's off a 1988 Chevy Silverado." He even highlighted the notch for the adjustment screw to prove it. Detectives ran with the tip. They searched DMV records for black 88 Silverados in the county and fanned out. 5 days later, they found a truck parked at a rural home. Fresh damage on the headlight mount matched the broken bezel. Inside the cab, they discovered a small bag of hard drugs. The owner, 37-year-old Jeremy Thomas Simon, first told them he'd fallen asleep at the wheel and thought he'd hit a deer. Press starter, he admitted he'd realized it was a person but didn't want to see a body, so he kept driving. Simon was charged with felony hit and run and vehicular homicide. In court, he changed his story again, claiming confusion and panic. Yet the judge noted he'd had months to come forward and never did. He was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, far less than Susan's family hoped for, but better, they said, than no justice at all. With that one photo on the internet, one sharp-eyed mechanic, and a swarm of curious teenagers on Reddit, the driver who killed Susan Rainwater might have vanished for good. Instead, a fragment of plastic, a string of comments, and a husband's refusal to give up turned a cold trail warm and put a name to the crime. In 2024, a horrifying scene unfolded in England when an 18-year-old stormed into Taylor Swift-themed dance class and began stabbing several young girls.
Down the spray shop. We cash it cars, mate. Spray shop. Number 34A, yeah. We cash it cars, mate. We cash it cars, mate.
Surveillance footage captured Axel Rudu Cabana arriving at a Southport dance studio just moments before carrying out a brutal attack. 3 young girls, ages 6, 7, and 9, were killed. 8 others were injured. In 2025, Cabana was convicted of 3 counts of murder and 8 counts of attempted murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for at least 5. A shocking incident unfolded when a father violently attacked a Department of Child Services (DCS) caseworker who had arrived to remove his daughter from his custody. In a disturbing turn, the man attempted to strangle the worker and allegedly try to kill them during the confrontation. On November 5th, 2024, 32-year-old Denadre Terrell Johnson live-streamed himself on Facebook as he visited the Arizona Department of Child Safety. He was there to speak with a caseworker overseeing his custody battle for his 9-year-old daughter. But when he found out that the caseworker had already spoken to his daughter without his knowledge and had gathered information that could jeopardize his chances of keeping custody, Johnson snapped. His anger quickly escalated into a violent outburst. Johnson caught the caseworker off guard and violently put him in a chokehold, strangling him until he lost consciousness, all while continuing to live stream the assault.
DCS, I want to introduce you so that we can have a proper introduction on this. I want to introduce you. Don't be afraid. You hold a public position. You was dead me. You was a dead me. The moment you took my daughter in that room and you couldn't tell me, you couldn't show me video or this is for any worker that think that they put my daughter and think they ain't got to talk to me. You was a dead man.
The terrifying scene unfolded in the building's lobby, and it wasn't until another employee happened to arrive that the caseworker had any chance of escape.
Go ahead, call the cops. I'll be waiting. Anybody else think it's okay to take little girls in the room? Anybody else think it's okay? Huh? Is it okay to take little girls in the room? The it's not. I don't give what position y'all hold. You take my in the room, this is what will happen to you. You still breathing?
Back up. No. I called the cops already. And they didn't want to do nothing. I clean. Nobody take my daughter to. No, I didn't. He's still breathing. I ain't make.
Shockingly, Johnson came back moments later to resume choking the unconscious caseworker, only stopping when other employees began screaming at him to let go. Even as he bragged on livestream that he wasn't scared of police, he fled the scene before officers arrived. He was tracked down and arrested 3 hours later. The caseworker suffered life-threatening injuries but ultimately survived. Johnson now faces multiple charges, including attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, unlawful flight from law enforcement, and disorderly conduct. As of this recording, a conviction has not yet been announced. In 2015, a 21-year-old man from South Carolina carried out a mass shooting at a church, killing 9 people. He had been radicalized online and believed his attack would ignite a race war. While footage of him is limited, jurors saw the video he recorded of himself practicing with a .45 caliber handgun, the same weapon used in the shooting. Surveillance also captured him scoping out the church multiple times before the attack. Like many mass shooters, he was obsessed with firearms and had stockpiles of ammo, but the most chilling footage comes from his police interview, where he calmly confessed to the killings and described how he did it.
Church in Charleston, and I did it.
Did what? Well, you, I mean, I know it's tough sometimes to say.
It's not that I don't want to say it because I don't want to make myself seem guilty. I just don't really like saying it.
So did you shoot him?
Yes.
What kind of gun did you use?
A Glock 45.
CCTV footage shows the shooter quietly walking into the church behind unsuspecting parishioners, people who just minutes later would become his victims. The most haunting moment comes after the attack, as he calmly exits the building, his shirt visibly soaked in blood. He was eventually sentenced to death for the massacre. In October 2024, someone noticed something strange about one of the electrical outlets in their home. It looked just a little different from the others, nothing too obvious, but enough to raise suspicion. It almost seemed like there was a camera built into it. Unsure, they turned to Reddit and posted photos of the outlet, hoping someone could help figure it out. In a comment, they explained more. They dealt with a stalker before, and their apartment had been broken into in the past. So for peace of mind, they brought a camera detector, not expecting it to pick anything up. But when they scanned the outlet, it detected radio waves and infrared reflections. The ground slot on this particular plug also looked different from every other GFCI outlet in their building. Almost immediately, commenters agreed something wasn't right, and just 40 minutes after the post went live, one user confirmed the worst. This outlet wasn't ordinary at all. They tracked down the exact model being sold online, and according to the product listing, it was a wireless hidden camera designed to transmit 4K video over Wi-Fi. It looked just like a normal outlet, but was in fact recording. Given the poster's past with a stalker, many believed it was likely the same person behind this hidden camera, watching without their knowledge. Commenters begged the user to leave immediately and call the police. But after that, nothing. The Reddit account was a throwaway, created only for this post, and once their suspicions were confirmed, they never returned with any updates. The thread went silent. No one knows what happened next. Check out this crazy video of bystanders in awe as a woman in Israel is seen covered in blood wielding an axe.
حبي
Sigonyana Izovic is accused of killing her 6-year-old son and the family dog during what investigators believe may have been a psychotic episode. According to reports, she told police she believed aliens had abducted her family and performed invasive experiments on her and her child. She also claimed the CIA was involved and that a chip had been implanted in her body, forcing her to carry out the killings. One of the most devastating kinds of violence in the US is school shootings, and this one was especially shocking. The shooter was just 15 years old, yet he used a 9mm handgun to take the lives of 4 classmates and injure 8 others, including a teacher. What made this case even more unusual was that his parents were charged too. Footage from the investigation gives a disturbing look into why authorities believe the parents shared responsibility. A cell phone video shows the teen in his backyard lighting a homemade Molotov cocktail, clear evidence of a disturbing interest in destruction. Footage shows a teenager and his mom at a shooting range. In the clip, he's firing the same 9mm handgun later used in the school attack. While Michigan law allows supervised use of a handgun for those under 18, it does not permit them to own or access one on their own. The parents didn't secure the weapon properly, which is one of the key reasons why they were charged after the tragedy. The most disturbing footage comes from the moment after the 15-year-old shooter was arrested. In the video, he's seen restrained, talking to himself and repeatedly asking why God didn't stop him from going through with the attack. He's clearly distraught and overwhelmed. According to reports, this emotional spiral lasted for hours. Despite later trying to plead insanity, the court sentenced him to life in prison.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? County unresponsive. Looks to be head bleeding. County 894, head bleeding and arms twisted up behind. All right, hang on. Let me try and find a jack. You know who this is? No. It's your husband, Jeff.
On the night of the incident, Melissa appeared visibly disoriented and emotionally unstable when deputies arrived on scene. Slurring her words and repeating herself, she insisted multiple times that she hadn't driven the vehicle, despite officers attempting to administer field sobriety tests.
Okay, what happened? It's okay. All right, get off me for just a second. If anybody has one, that'd be great. This is the only one I got with me, but... Back of the head wound. He's wrapped up under there. Non-responsive. Large pool of blood.
Yeah, but let's start trying to get off him. I've
All
got
right.
some more equipment, I think.
All right, we're going. We're gonna go right there, okay? Make sure I don't bump him.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, going up. Tell me if anything starts creaking or weird. All right, I'm not gonna be able to see, so I'm trusting you guys.
You're off the ground on this.
Off the ground? Am I off of him?
Sure, I need to get him where we are. Yeah, you're
Oh, sorry, did not mean to bump you. Okay, all right, we're clear of him. He's off.
She was driving. She says that's her husband.
Okay. That's the DUI.
I think this is the same Jeep. Matt Vernon was looking for. One of the PD guys said that they gave that plate.
Okay, DUI fatal. She needs to get. We're gonna have to get blood and urine. So you were in the vehicle, and this is your husband.
I guess.
How did this occur?
I don't know. I got him in my car.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, whatever you can recall, I need you to recall.
I don't know what happened. I don't even know how I got it in my car.
Okay. How were you guys in the store? What was the build up here? What was the lead up to this?
Well, I was with a friend from work. I don't know how I got it in my car.
Were you the one that was at the
No.
Frosties?
No, I went to and I went
Okay, you went to Frosties and 618 Tap?
Yeah.
Okay, about how much did you have to drink at both of those?
Well, I don't know exactly, sir, but
Okay.
I do know.
Were you by yourself while you were at the bars?
Yeah, we don't even go out that much. We just go to work and go home. And I don't know how we got here. Please let me know my husband's okay.
They're working on him right now still. I can't give you a status because I don't know a status. They're working on him right now, okay?
I know, I'm so scared.
Will you hold on? All right, so Melissa, will you consent to some field testing? I need to know how much you've had to drink. If you're sober, if you're okay to drive, if you're not.
No, absolutely not.
So you're not okay to drive?
No.
Okay, are you going to consent to some testing for me?
Yeah.
It's some standardized field sobriety testing.
Yeah,
is
but
what
my
we need to do.
husband was driving.
Okay, I'm going to have you hang tight. We're going to get this going, and then I'll be right back with you, okay?
No, I have too much to drink to drive.
Okay.
That's what you're trying to discover.
Just with your eyes, not with your head.
I didn't move my head.
Follow the tip of my finger with your eyes. You're all right? 2, 1.
She was unable to follow basic instructions, stumbled during the eye tracking portion of the test, and repeatedly claimed she drank too much to perform the walk-in turn or one-leg stand tests.
I can't because I've been drinking too much.
Okay, I'll have you go back to the starting position. Place your left foot on the line. Okay, now place your right foot in front of your left foot. That's, yeah, your right foot in front of your left foot, touching heel to toe.
Oh gosh, I can't do that.
Okay.
Officers remained patient as they attempted to guide her through the process, but Melissa's erratic behavior and refusal to complete the tests eventually led to her being placed under arrest for suspected DUI.
I have to check if you're able to drive.
I didn't drive. Oh my God, where's my husband?
Okay, what I'm going to do next, we're going to go up to the hospital. They're going to need to get blood and urine from you, and they'll have to submit that. Do you have any injuries?
I refuse.
Okay, you refuse? Okay. Okay. All right, have you place your hands behind your back, please.
I want to go to my husband's. Can you please tell me?
If I find something out, I'll tell you, okay?
I'll follow you up there and help you get a warrant.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Head up to the crossroads.
What investigators would later uncover was far more troubling. Surveillance footage from a nearby apartment complex allegedly showed Melissa shoving her husband Jeff down before backing her car over him. Then in a shocking turn, she reportedly pulled forward again, leaving his body trapped beneath the vehicle. Despite this, during her interaction with officers, Melissa seemed genuinely confused about what had happened. She told them she didn't even know how Jeff ended up under the car, insisting over and over that she didn't drive and that her husband must have been inside a store. At one point, she even questioned how they got here, unable to comprehend how such a horrific moment had unfolded. Once in custody, Melissa was transported to a nearby hospital for further testing. There, her demeanor shifted between panic and sorrow. She constantly asked about Jeff's condition, tearfully pleading for answers and insisting he was a strong man who would never end up in a situation like this unless something went terribly wrong.
Okay.
Well, we've got
my husband.
Yes, we've got
I don't even know how we got here, sir.
Right. No, and I understand that, but I do have to run off of their standards.
But my husband would have never. How did he? I don't even know how he got passed out. I mean, he had to have passed out at some point, right?
I'm still fuzzy on all of the circumstances.
My husband is not like that. He's a strong individual.
Okay.
Trust me, sir. I've been with him for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
My husband is a strong individual. I don't even know how this all occurred.
They just did that.
Okay.
When I was looking through the window.
Alright. I thought he went inside the store and he was underneath my car. What the hell?
Now, if you want to verify with them, by means, but I was watching them open it whenever I walked by the window.
Medical staff informed her that he had been airlifted to a different hospital and had a very weak pulse when he left the scene. That was the last update she received before learning the devastating truth. Jed had succumbed to his injuries. Despite being overwhelmed with emotion and repeatedly asking for a phone call to contact Jeff's family, Melissa remained in custody and was eventually booked on charges of aggravated DUI and first-degree murder. Throughout the process, she continued to insist she never meant to hurt anyone and that she loved her husband deeply. In the months that followed, Melissa ultimately pleaded guilty to the charges and was sentenced to 20 years in prison, a tragic ending to what she claimed was a night she didn't even understand herself.
In his car, the time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right in that house just down the street.
Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk were 16-year-old high school juniors from Pocatello, Idaho. On the surface, they looked like regular teens. Brian was even on the school soccer team and had plenty of friends, but behind closed doors, the two boys shared a chilling obsession: horror films, violence, and the Columbine shooters. They dressed in all black and fed off each other's darkest thoughts. One of Brian's friends was 16-year-old Cassie Jo Stoddard. She was known for being responsible, well-liked, and had dreams of becoming a lawyer. But what Cassie didn't know was that Brian secretly had a crush on her. When she started dating a boy named Matt, it devastated him. To Brian, it wasn't just rejection, it felt like proof that he didn't measure up. That frustration would eventually spiral into something far more dangerous.
You have a crush on her a little bit?
I did, and I was about to ask her out, but then Matt did. I always thought they were bad being a couple, because he likes to smoke weed, and I don't, and Cassie hates it too. And Cassie's against doing drugs, and I'm against doing drugs, and Cassie's against doing, like drinking alcohol and stuff, and I am too.
Right.
And I met her before Matt, and I was gonna ask her out and stuff, and then he just moves on, and
he ends up with her.
Yeah.
So,
but that's cool because they're happy together.
I mean, did he tell you about having sex with her?
I remember.
Did he brag about that?
I remember I went to the bathroom when I was at their house, and there was a condom wrapper in the toilet. And then I asked him about it, and he said that I had sex with her, you know, before he came.
Did he talk dirty about her? Or?
No.
So to make you a little bit uncomfortable when you guys watched the movies with it kissing and stuff like that, it was like, do I have to do that in front of me?
I guess it's kind of like that, yeah.
Okay. So what about Tori? Did Tori have a crush on her too? I mean, you guys kind of both like her a little bit?
No.
Okay.
No, he was more friends with her than...
Okay.
After Cassie and Matt began dating, Brian and Tori's twisted fascination took a darker turn. What started as a bitter jealousy soon became a violent fixation. They began talking about harming either Cassie or Matt, and their obsession only grew. When they learned that Cassie would be house-sitting alone on the evening of September 22nd, they saw an opportunity. To them, it was the perfect setup, isolated, unguarded, and easy to access. That night, they made a horrifying decision. Not only would they go through with their plan, but they'd also document it. With a video camera in hand, they set out to turn their sick fantasy into reality.
Here in his car, the time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends. And they are right in that house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour. But
we checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. And yeah. We're going for a high death count.
We're not going not to get caught, Ryan. If we're going for guns, we're just going to end it. We're just going to grab the guns and get out of there, kill everybody and leave.
We're going to make history. We're going to make history.
For all you FBI agents watching this, you weren't quick enough.
You weren't quick enough and you weren't smart enough. And we're going over today, Nixon's house. We're gonna go snoop around over there and try to see if she's home alone or not. And if she's home alone, splat! She did.
Don't put your humor into this, Brian.
I'm not putting any humor into it. We're gonna go to the church over there and we're gonna call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're our friends, but we have to make sacrifices. So I feel tonight it is the night, and I feel really weird, inside my stomach and stuff, and I feel like I want to kill somebody.
In the chilling footage they recorded, Brian and Tori acted as if what they were about to do was nothing more than a twisted joke. They laughed, made crude comments, and treated the idea of murder like it was a game. At one point, one of them even said murder is only wrong because it's illegal and socially unacceptable, as if that somehow excused what they were planning. The recording shows just how disconnected they were from reality. No empathy, no guilt, just arrogance. They spoke directly into the camera, even mocking authorities by addressing the FBI agents they believed might one day watch their tape. With every minute, their words became darker, more revealing. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. It was calculated, cold-blooded, and fueled by a dangerous belief that they were smarter, superior, and untouchable.
I feel we need to break away from normal life.
How bright is this light?
Because, let's put it this way. Parents, along with their parents, and so on, taught them about God, Jesus, the whole bullshit line. I'm sure you guys believe in God as well. I realized when I was in 7th grade, you don't believe in Santa Claus or vampires or werewolves. They're used to metaphor not to let. They teach their kids back in the 1800s, I learned this in English class, about telling their kids that you can't go outside or a vampire will get you, just to make their kids stay and do what they want to do. God is basically
God's
the
for, right?
same way.
Yep.
Trying to get people to do good, or else, so-called, you go to hell.
And we're obviously going to hell if it's real, but you know what? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, and why would you
but
say
it's not real? It's
right?
not real because it's so blatantly obvious it's not real. But
people believe it because their parents teach them, and so it's so hard for them to let go of it because they've been taught their whole life. They're also taught that things like killing people and other thing is wrong. The only thing that it's wrong about is because it's breaking the law, and the law is only wrong. The law
natural selection, dude.
Because
natural selection. That's all I gotta say.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
Exactly. Goodbye, camera.
Brian and Tori had meticulously planned what they were about to do. They knew exactly when Cassie would be alone. She was staying at her aunt and uncle's house, watching over the place while they were away. Once her relatives left for the evening, the two teens made their move. Wearing dark clothing modeled after the infamous Ghostface killer from Scream, they crept into the house fully prepared for what they were about to do. Once inside, they attacked Cassie without mercy, stabbing her repeatedly in the chest, arms, and stomach. After the brutal assault, they fled the scene, only to turn the camera back on and record their thoughts, boasting about what they'd done as if it were a trophy.
Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like it wasn't even real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up, we gotta get our act straight.
Cassie's body wasn't found until 3 days later, when her aunt returned home and made the heartbreaking discovery. Just a few days after that, both Brian and Tori were arrested in connection to the murder. Once in custody, Brian quickly began shifting blame. He claimed the whole thing was meant to be a prank and insisted that he never laid a hand on Cassie, that it was Tori who took things too far. But the truth began to unravel when Brian agreed to lead investigators to a hidden spot in the woods. There, they recovered the chilling video footage the two had recorded, along with other incriminating evidence. Both teens were charged with first-degree murder. After their trials, they were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In the end, Cassie wasn't killed by strangers. She was betrayed by people she once called classmates. After finishing up her 30-minute treadmill session, a 22-year-old woman from Indonesia was cooling down, something most of us look forward to after a hard workout. But what happened next turned deadly. Identified only by her initials, FN slowed the machine and reached for a towel to wipe her face. That small distraction cost her everything. She lost her balance, stumbled backward, and fell straight through an open window behind her. She tried to catch herself on the frame, but it didn't hold. FN plunged 3 stories to the ground below. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, but her injuries were too severe. She didn't make it. The tragedy unfolded in June 2024 at a gym in Pontianak, Indonesia. And it wasn't just a freak accident, it was a disaster waiting to happen. The treadmill had been set up dangerously close to a low window. Yes, there were warning stickers telling people not to open it, but reports say one of them was broken. That gap, left open and ignored, turned fatal. After her death, the gym shut down for 3 days. Authorities stepped in and launched a full investigation into what went wrong and who might be responsible. It was a brutal reminder. Safety in public spaces isn't just about rules. It's about paying attention before it's too late. A growing number of violent attacks in the US are being driven by hatred toward women. And the Isla Vista attack in 2014 is one of the clearest examples. The 22-year-old behind it had a deep resentment over being rejected by women and wanted revenge. Before carrying out the killings, he filmed himself driving around town, clearly planning what was to come. He wasn't just angry, he felt entitled, and his video gave a disturbing look into that mindset. This wasn't random, it was targeted and premeditated, meant to punish women who had never even known him.
I'm gonna show you all a short little tour of this college town called Isla Vista, which is located right next to UCSB. Every time I drive through this place, I am overcome with rage as I see so many guys walking around with beautiful blonde girls, enjoying their lives, while I've lived here for more than 2 years in loneliness. No one's ever invited me to parties, no girls have been attracted to me. I've never had the pleasure of walking through this town.
The man behind the 2014 Isla Vista attack recorded a video before carrying out his plan. In it, he drove through town, pointing out houses where parties were happening, mostly frat and sorority houses. He talked about how angry it made him to see other men with attractive women while he stayed alone. His words revealed a deep obsession with being accepted by women and a growing hatred over being ignored. The way he spoke made it clear he let rejection consume his thoughts. It also hinted at a possible underlying personality disorder.
Elliot Roger here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires, all because girls have never been attracted to me. Girls gave their affection and love to other men, but never to me. I'm 22 years old, and I'm still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. You girls have never been attracted to me. I don't know why you girls aren't attracted to me, but I will punish you all for it. It's an injustice, a crime, because I don't know what you don't see in me. I'm the perfect guy. And yet you throw yourselves at all these obnoxious men, instead of me, the supreme gentleman. I will punish all of you for it.
The chilling video posted by the attacker just before the rampage reveals his twisted mindset. In it, he declares that he's gonna get revenge on the world for ignoring him, especially women. He calls himself the perfect guy and blames society for not giving him the attention he feels entitled to. The next day, he murdered his 2 roommates and launched a violent spree across Isla Vista. Cell phone and security footage capture the chaos. Gunfire in the streets, people diving for cover, and the shooter firing from his car at random pedestrians. He eventually died by suicide after a shootout with police, but not before killing 7 people and injuring 14 more. On August 11, 2022, what started as a chance encounter quickly turned violent at an apartment complex. 2 sisters, 27-year-old Antonetta Stevens and her 17-year-old sibling Janine Gonzalez, ran into 36-year-old Ashley Bocanegra, but this wasn't a causal or friendly meeting. Just moments after spotting her, the sisters launched into a brutal attack, allegedly fueled by suspicions that Ashley had been involved with Antonetta's fiancé, Danielle Gonzalez. Witnesses described the assault as vicious and unrelenting. One employee from the apartment complex who saw the altercation unfold immediately called 911 to report the chaos.
With 2 girls fighting, and she's really bloody. I can see the blood from where I'm at. They're fighting on the street.
It's my house. She's been sleeping with my fiance. She works over there. She's his manager, and she keeps on forcing him to have sex with her after he's been cut it off, or she's gonna fire him. And we ended up fighting right there because she approached my home. This is my home. She lives all the way over there.
Okay, is everybody in the house right now?
Oh, just me. I'm the only one that fought. Just me. The girl, she left.
Is your sister involved?
My sister?
Yeah, is she?
No, that's my sister-in-law.
Is she involved?
She was there.
Are you 2 arguing, or you guys?
No, we're not arguing.
Okay, so let's go inside.
The female that he's been sleeping with.
Him?
Yes, my fiance that I've been with for 5 years.
Okay.
We moved here together from up north. He works at Floor and Decor. He's been sleeping with his manager.
And that's who was here?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been feeling it for some time now.
Okay.
Yesterday I'm walking to Quick Trip, I see them walking together. And you're a woman, you know our intuition. I know that's the girl. I seen her, we argued yesterday, he broke it up, it was fine. This morning now, she's calling, text him, saying that she's gonna be coming here. I waited for her.
Yeah.
Get off me. Get off my hair, I'm gonna f you up.
Let me go then. Get off me.
Say hi to Daniel.
Get off me.
Say hi to Daniel. Get the f off. You know he said I could come out here and f you up, right?
Okay, good.
You know that, right? He's in the house with our son.
Hey, wow.
He said I could f you up. Yep, this is what we do. If I get mad and he knows I'm leaving, he feels sad. He says, I'll let you f her up. That's what I'm doing.
CCTV footage captured a wounded Ashley Bocanegra, just 30 years old, struggling to make her way back to her apartment after the brutal assault. Hours passed, but her breathing remained shallow and labored. Eventually, her fiancé rushed her to the hospital, but by the time they arrived, Ashley's condition had worsened drastically. She was placed on a ventilator, unable to breathe on her own. Despite medical intervention, the damage was too severe. Ashley had suffered internal bleeding and other critical injuries from the beating, and she tragically passed away. What had initially been treated as an assault case now escalated into a homicide investigation. Detectives returned to Antonetta and Janine, not just to deliver the devastating update, but to begin digging deeper into the motive behind the attack.
I know, that was the girls that were walking. They went to Quick Trip. Hey, I'm Detective Carter with Gwinnett County Police. Are you your internet?
Yes, hi.
Hey, this is Detective Poppy, or Sergeant Poppy.
Hi, nice to meet you.
We know that there was like an incident that happened earlier today. Has anyone called you about it since?
No. Was somebody supposed to?
Well, we just got another call about it. So I guess the girl went to the hospital and she died.
She died?
She's dead. So, but we know that there was like an altercation that happened before. Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah.
So, but because of it,
I wasn't going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
I get it.
Yeah.
But because of that, we have to kind of talk to you guys and get a more formal statement.
Sure, okay. Wow, I'm so sorry about that. That was not my intention. I've been mentally going through a lot. I have bipolar depression and I'm just going through a lot right now, and you know, I came here from up north with my fiance. That's him.
Hey.
I came here with my fiance.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came
Are you
here,
the sister? His
yeah,
sister? Okay.
Sister. I came here with my fiance to start a new life, buy a house, everything like that, and I never expected him to basically cheat on me with someone at the workplace. You know what I'm saying?
So we would like to get like a formal statement, so we're going to ask that you come up to our headquarters and talk to us.
It's just right up the street.
Okay. All right.
I hear kids. Is there someone else here that can? There's someone here with them?
Yeah.
Once at the station, Antonetta Stevens and her sister Janine Gonzalez were separated and placed in individual interrogation rooms. Detectives hoped that by questioning them apart, each might reveal details the other wouldn't, or even contradict each other. It was a classic investigative strategy: isolate the suspects, apply pressure, and see what truths surface. With Ashley Bocanegra's death now classified as murder, police were determined to uncover what really happened that day and why.
Or whatever. So, my brother, him being a man, cheats. Like always, you know, he's feeling less than, he thinks it's okay to cheat, so, you know. He tells me who's he cheating with and stuff. Now, me and my stepsister, I mean, not my stepsister, my sister-in-law, we're very close, like, so close, like, you understand. Like, she's more of a sister to me than my brother's a brother to me, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very
So,
close.
like, we're very close.
Yeah.
So, once he told me, I was just like, ooh, what the tell her?
It's girl code. You have
Yes,
to.
right? So, especially when, right after he told me what he was doing, he wanted to do it with her. So I was just like, I'm about to tell her. 2 days prior before this day, we were just chilling, she was working, and Daniel did something to her to make her upset. So we were talking or whatever, and I was just like, oh, I forgot to tell you. No, I didn't forget, but that's still, you know. So I was like, told her what happened. He explained what she did or whatever. She was like, oh really? She's upset, whatever. I was like, don't tell him that I told you, because he's gonna be mad at me.
Right.
Okay, so after that, he explained how the girl looked to me though. And, you know, curly hair, Puerto Rican, skinny girl. So I was like, alright. So then I explained it to Antonetta. So the next day after that, we went to the store. Last night. We went to the store last night and we were walking to Quick Trip. Quick Trip is right there, you know.
I know, I saw y'all walking earlier.
Yeah.
I thought that was you guys.
Okay, so we walked to Quick Trip. As we're walking to Quick Trip, the both of them are walking together from Quick Trip. So they're just now leaving and we're just now coming. So Antonetta is like, is that Daniel walking? So now she runs to him like, who is this? So he's like, oh, it's my worker or whatever. Mind you, before we walked to Quick Trip, we asked him, when you go on your break, can you take us to the store? He said he couldn't leave on his break. So when we saw them walking, it was like, you just said you couldn't leave on your break, now you walking with her to the store?
During her interrogation, Janine showed no remorse for her actions. In fact, she laughed as she admitted to being the one who exposed the alleged affair, a detail that seemed to trigger the violent confrontation. Her lack of empathy was chilling. Both Janine and Antonetta were ultimately charged with felony murder and aggravated battery. However, they each entered guilty pleas to the lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter. As a result, the court sentenced both sisters to 20 years behind bars, 2 decades lost over a brutal attack that ended in tragedy. Megachurches might sound unusual if you're not from the American South, but they're real. Massive arenas run by pastors with stadium-sized crowds. One of the most well-known figures in that world is Joel Osteen, whose Lakewood Church near Houston draws over 45,000 attendees weekly and employs more than 350 full-time staff. That kind of scale made it a major target in February 2024. Footage from that day shows a 36-year-old woman walking through the church lobby with a gun in hand and her young son by her side. As she fires shots, her child covers his ears, caught in the chaos she created.
Wire loss. Wire area. 3639. Units now.
As the shooter walks through the church lobby with her child beside her, a security guard quickly steps in, gun drawn. She fires a few rounds before retreating into a nearby room. Then after repositioning, she moves in again and fires several more shots at the suspect.
I need EMS ASAP.
Both the shooter and her 7-year-old son were hit in the crossfire. The boy was seriously hurt but pulled through. His mother, however, died from her injuries. The only other person wounded was a 47-year-old man who was shot in the leg. Body cam video captures a chilling moment. Right before being shot, the attacker yells that she has a bomb. No clear motive was ever found, but it later came out that the woman had a known history of mental illness. Still, she was able to legally buy the gun, and no red flag laws stopped her. Tyrion Ismail Thomas, known online as Mr. Prada, built a massive following on TikTok with over 8 million fans. In one video, he joked about practicing his mugshot for the day someone pushed him too far. That post took on a chilling tone in 2024 when Thomas was charged with second-degree murder. He's accused of killing 69-year-old therapist Dr. William Nick Abraham at an apartment in Louisiana.
Witness at the apartment complex that saw the suspect dragging what we now believe is the victim's body.
The day after Dr. William Nick Abraham visited Tyrion Thomas, his body was found wrapped in a tarp and dumped in a ditch off Highway 51.
Police chasing him with his gun out, move back.
When that information went out to everyone, we had family members that reached out and said, hey, he got a ride back to his apartment after the pursuit with BRPD, and somehow he got to the bus station. And from the bus station, he took the bus to Dallas, Texas.
Surveillance footage showed both men entering the apartment, but only Thomas was seen leaving. Inside, detectives discovered a large amount of blood, several sharp objects, and other weapons. Witnesses later told police they saw Thomas dragging something heavy in a tarp not long after Abraham had been there. A tragic example of how mental health and access to firearms can collide happened in Pennsylvania back in 2017. On June 8th, a 24-year-old man walked into the West Market supermarket where he also worked and opened fire. He used a shotgun to kill 3 of his co-workers. In total, he fired 59 rounds before turning the gun on himself.
Back again. All right, so today, have both shotguns again. I'm gonna use Rachel first because I feel like I've been neglecting her since I got M, so I promised her I would use her gun. So we're gonna use her first. Basic target practice and everything, except this time we have propane. I have one propane canister that's about like this big. We're gonna get to that a little bit later on. I have a fire extinguisher in case something goes wrong and you know the fire spreads. So you do not want to throw water on a propane fire. So yeah. I don't know the technical aspects of it all, but fire on a propane fire is bad. I Googled it. Now you know. Now I know. So anyways, let's go. You know the drill by now.
Investigators later uncovered videos of the shooter practicing in his backyard. In the footage, he calls both of his guns by name and takes aim at bottles and containers he lined up as targets.
I want to stop. You didn't miss much. Let's get a little closer. That bird right next to it.
The shooter eventually moves in closer to his targets, trying to make his backyard shooting practice look more dramatic. What makes the video so disturbing is that he's using the same guns he would later use to end his co-workers' lives.
For today, count down the days. It's like 23 days left. That's it. It's insane. So yeah, gotta go clean everything up now. Hooray!
Near the end of his backyard video, the shooter makes a chilling remark. He says there are 23 days left. That's likely a reference to the date he had planned his attack. Investigators later discovered he had long battled depression and had become obsessed with the Columbine shooters. He even believed that after death, he'd be reborn as a character from a Nickelodeon show, an unsettling mix of delusion and deep emotional pain.
That's it. Well, what else do you want me to say? Go clean everything up.
What started as a dream vacation turned into something straight out of a nightmare. In the summer of 2024, Lisa Manders and her husband Craig traveled from New Jersey to Zambia for what was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime, a safari to witness Africa's wildlife up close. But just days after they arrived, that dream was shattered forever. On June 5th, the couple joined a group for a bushwalk near a riverbank. Experienced guides led the way and assured everyone it was safe to observe the animals. But hiding in the water nearby was a lone hippopotamus. Massive, territorial, and dangerously fast, the animal was no ordinary threat. Suddenly, the hippo lunged. In seconds, it erupted from the water and charged the group. Lisa tried to run, but she didn't make it far. The hippo clamped its jaws around her and lifted her into the air. What followed was a brutal attack. Lisa was tossed, bitten, and killed instantly. Her husband, Craig, could do nothing but watch in horror as his wife was mauled to death right in front of him. To make it worse, the guides who were supposed to protect the group fled the scene. Lisa's death didn't just devastate her family, it raised serious questions about safety protocols. Craig has since filed a lawsuit against African Portfolio, the Connecticut-based tour company that arranged their trip. He says they weren't warned about the dangers of getting so close to a hippo on foot, nor were proper safety measures in place. If we had known how dangerous that situation really was, we never would have agreed to it, Craig said through his lawyer. African Portfolio denies responsibility. Their attorney argued that the company only books travel and isn't liable for what happens during the trip. But to Craig, this wasn't just a tragic accident, it was preventable, and it cost him the love of his life. Lisa Manders was more than a tourist. She was a mother of 3, a respected professional, and someone who should have come home safe. Her death is a painful reminder that the wild can turn deadly in an instant. It was a quiet evening in May 2018 at the Safari Lodge in Uganda's Queen Elizabeth National Park. What started as just another peaceful night quickly turned into something unimaginable. A 2-year-old boy, curious and carefree, wandered just a few steps away from his nanny. It was enough. In the shadows, a leopard was waiting. It struck fast, so fast that the nanny barely had time to react. One moment the child was there, the next he was gone. The predator clamped its jaws around the boy and disappeared into the dense brush. His nanny ran after them, screaming, but it was too late. The jungle swallowed him whole. Rangers launched a desperate search. Hours passed, then came morning, and with it, heartbreak. They found what was left of the child under a tree, his skull, a few bones. The leopard had killed him and fed on him. The boy's mother, a game ranger working in the very same park, was on duty when it happened. His grandfather, Francis Manana Nabujie, spoke for the family. "You gave us the coffin. My son is gone. Nothing will bring him back." But they wanted more than grief. They wanted answers. How could this happen in a place that was supposed to be safe? The Uganda Wildlife Authority admitted the leopard had now tasted human blood, meaning it could attack again. Rangers promised to track it down. "It is not good to keep it there," a spokesperson said. The horror of the attack rippled through the country. Leopard attacks on people are rare, but this wasn't just rare, it was brutal. A child taken and devoured in the place he should have been protected. For the family, the grief is endless. And for the park, the message is clear. In the wild, you don't get second chances. All it takes is one moment, one step too far, and the jungle takes what it wants.
No, don't close the door. What's going on?
With what?
Are you Shay?
I am Shay.
Right. I've had some kind of strange, interesting call about somebody having had their throat slit.
Okay.
So what's going on here?
No, that's
a dog, is it?
my dogs, yeah.
Shay Groves, 27, had a disturbing fascination with serial killers. In July 2022, she was arrested for stabbing her boyfriend to death at her home in Hampshire, England. When police searched the house, they found framed photos of infamous killers like Myra Hindley and Jeffrey Dahmer, along with a knife she used in the murder.
On suspicion of murder, you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. The necessity for your arrest is for a prompt and effective investigation.
Shay Groves is now serving a minimum of 23 years in prison, which means she won't be getting the chance to follow in the footsteps of the killer she idolized, at least not anytime soon. Dr. Thomas McAfee had spent decades helping others. He was a medical leader, a respected educator, and the incoming CEO of a major health foundation. In 2013, at 58, he decided to take a break before starting his next big chapter. He booked a safari in Tanzania's Tarangire National Park, an escape into nature before diving back into his demanding career. But that trip would cost him his life. On a quiet September day, McAfee and 2 others set out on foot to explore the park. They wanted to see the wildlife up close. It was a risk, but one that promised beauty, thrill, and peace. Then came the elephants. A herd appeared, huge, powerful, and unpredictable. The group turned to retreat. McAfee stumbled. In the wild, a second can mean everything. One of the elephants charged. The ground shook, there was no time to run, no chance to recover. The animal trampled McAfee. When help arrived, there was nothing they could do. Back home, the news sent shockwaves. Colleagues were stunned. A man known for healing others had been taken in the most violent way. His sister, Skyla, later said he knew the risks. He loved Africa. He loved life. But knowing the risks didn't protect him. Elephants aren't monsters, they're animals acting on instinct, but when they feel threatened, their response is deadly, and in the wild, there are no second chances. McAfee's death raised questions. Was there a guide? Were they alone? Did they go too far off course? Whatever the answers, one truth remains. The wild doesn't care who you are. Titles don't matter. Resumes don't count. One misstep is all it takes. For Dr. McAfee, what should have been a farewell to one chapter became his final moment. A dream trip ended in tragedy. A life of purpose ended in silence. On February 24th, 2020, Sarah Boone called 911 with a disturbing report. Her boyfriend, 42-year-old Jorge Torres Jr., was dead inside a suitcase. She claimed it had been a game of hide-and-seek gone wrong. According to her, Jorge willingly got into the suitcase and she zipped it up as part of the game before heading upstairs and accidentally falling asleep. By the time she woke up, it was too late. At first glance, Sarah insisted it was all just a tragic mistake, but when detectives began to dig deeper, her story started to unravel.
The location of your emergency. 4748 France Court, apartment 3.
4748, what's the street name?
France, F-R-A-N-T-Z.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire rescue. What's the location, Mercy?
That's 32.
No, please don't leave.
4748 France Lane, apartment 3.
France Court. My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in his case and we were playing. And like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
I understand. I just need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No. He's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah, okay.
But nothing happened. He's purple.
Okay, listen to me. There's a defibrillator. I need you to get it for me, okay?
What is it?
You have an AED available?
No.
All right. Are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay. Lay him flat on his... Okay, ma'am, listen. So listen, is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's not necessarily cold, but he's stiff.
Right, okay. All right, listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows. Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right, okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right, okay, listen. Okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him, okay? All right? Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Okay, ma'am.
Please! Okay, he just gurgled. Like, he and I were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You were putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take the stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay. Fine.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay?
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he live here with you guys?
No. I called him over here.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
I called you guys. I tried giving him CPR. The problem is I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning, when I found him.
Before you called?
Yes!
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him, and I took him out, and I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband or your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live at?
Right down the street.
When detectives asked if they could search her phone, Sarah agreed without hesitation, giving both verbal and written consent. She had no idea that buried in that device was the very evidence that would dismantle her story. During their investigation, they discovered video footage on her phone that told a much darker version of events. In the video, Sarah can be heard mocking Jorge as he struggles inside the suitcase, begging to be let out and saying he couldn't breathe. She doesn't help him. Instead, she taunts him. At one point, she coldly says, "That's what I feel like when you cheat on me."
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. Sarah.
The footage was undeniable and painted a chilling portrait of premeditated cruelty. What Sarah had described as an accident was exposed as something far more sinister. Her tone, words, and complete lack of urgency as Jorge suffocated made one thing painfully clear. This wasn't a game, it was murder. As investigators began to collect evidence, they also took Sarah in for questioning. What they were about to find would shift the tone of the case entirely and paint a far more disturbing picture of what really happened that night.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay, are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good day. We've had good days lately.
Mm-hmm.
Even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
While sitting with investigators, Sarah continued to insist that Jorge's death was nothing more than a tragic accident. She calmly recounted the events, claiming that she and Jorge had been drinking heavily, that the suitcase game was meant to be harmless, and that she simply fell asleep before realizing anything was wrong. But her words alone weren't enough. 12 hours passed before Sarah even checked on him. By the time she finally unzipped the suitcase the next day, Jorge was dead. The autopsy confirmed that his final moments were agonizing. He had suffered from positional asphyxia, his body showing signs of blunt force injuries and trauma from trying to free himself. Detectives now understood that this wasn't a tragic mistake, it was something far darker. With the evidence from her phone in hand, they called Sarah back in for a second round of questioning. This time they weren't just listening, they were preparing to hold her accountable. Sarah continued to lie, but she was shook when an officer showed a crucial video.
Okay, so do you remember making any videos or maybe having any any photos, videos that you remember doing on your phone on Sunday?
No.
No?
I think I took a picture of a dog.
Okay. But your phone is password protected, you have the password, he has the facial recognition, so it's not like someone else could be on your phone.
No, I have both.
So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that. It's that long?
2 minutes.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And this
Fuck
is,
you.
that's you, your voice.
Stupid. That's my name. Don't wear it up. text me.
I don't want to watch it, please.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had 2 fingers hanging out.
I flipped him over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
There's 2 different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions and him saying that he can't breathe and you saying, F***.
This is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it, it was flipped up. Right. It was flipped up normal. Guys, this is killing me right now. So this image, it's upside down, and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table. Okay. Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front? I flipped it. Okay. My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. Well, that's what you did. Yeah. But not intentional.
Despite the mounting evidence against her, Sarah still seemed unaware of just how serious the situation had become. Her tone remained casual, almost indifferent, as if she didn't fully grasp the weight of what she's done. But investigators did. With the video footage, conflicting statements, and the disturbing reality of Jorge's final moments, Sarah was formally arrested and charged with second-degree murder. What followed was a lengthy 4-year legal battle. The courtroom saw emotional testimonies, expert analysis, and the harrowing footage that captured Jorge's desperate cries for help. Ultimately, the jury delivered its verdict, guilty. Sarah Boone was sentenced to life in prison, with no possibility of parole. A chilling end to a case that began as a supposed game of hide-and-seek, but was anything but. In 2023, the U.S. faced one of its most tragic mass shootings at the Allen, Texas outlet mall. After the attack, investigators uncovered a disturbing homemade video from the shooter. In it, the man wears a scream mask and uses a voice modulator, adding a chilling tone to his words. The video offered a glimpse into the mindset of someone preparing for violence, one that now haunts everyone who's seen it.
I caught what you're expecting, huh? Well, that's the video. See ya.
Not long after recording that eerie masked video, the 33-year-old drove to an outlet mall in Allen, Texas. Once there, he opened fire on unsuspecting shoppers. He didn't target anyone specific, just started shooting at random. 9 people lost their lives, including a 3-year-old boy. Surveillance from May 6th shows the exact moment the gunman stepped out of his car at an outlet mall and began firing. You hear gunshots, see people running, chaos in seconds. But what could have been far worse wasn't. Thanks to a quick-thinking officer already on the scene, he heard the shots, rushed toward the danger, and brought the attacker down with 3 shots. The gunman had 3 weapons on him and 5 more in his car. If that officer hadn't been there, the death toll could have been much higher. At around 4 p.m. in 2008, 2 trains collided head-on in the San Fernando Valley, California. The disaster killed 25 people and left dozens more hurt. Investigators later learned that the engineer had been distracted by a text message, a mistake that cost lives. Among the passengers was Charles Chuck Peck. His loved ones clung to hope, praying he had somehow made it through. As rescue crews worked to search the wreckage and locate survivors, Chuck's cell phone kept ringing out. His family members were getting repeated calls from his number, calls that offered hope and heartbreak in equal measure. Each time, they answered only to hear silence or static. Chuck's son CJ said each call brought a fresh wave of hope, maybe his dad was trapped somewhere, alive but unable to speak. Chuck's fiancée, Andrea Katz, also received calls. At one point, first responders even saw her phone light up with Chuck's name while they were right there beside her. Desperate, his family searched hospitals. They kept reaching out to emergency services. They told firefighters about the calls, hoping it might help them pinpoint his location, and it did. The signal helped lead rescuers to a section of the wreck, but then the call stopped. An hour later, they found Chuck's body. He hadn't survived the crash. An autopsy confirmed he had died on impact, which raised an eerie question: who had been making those 35 calls? Chuck's phone was never found, even though it helped guide the search. and the calls had gone out over an 11-hour span, 35 in total, to his son, his fiancée, his siblings, and his stepmother. There is no clear explanation. Some wonder if it was a glitch or if the phone's damage caused it to dial at random, but others believe something deeper was at work, that maybe, just maybe, Chuck was trying to say goodbye.